his ebbs and flows. But in Indiana, he was a monster on the glass, as was Isaiah Jackson and Obi Toppin for the Indiana Pacers, focusing on blocking out Isaiah Hartenstein after a monster 17-rebound performance. Back at home, though, I expect Isaiah Hartenstein to find his way to those basketballs as they bounce off the rim.
This building is electric. Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, one of the great scenes in all of sports. The Knicks haven't hosted one since May of 1995. That is about to change. Starting lineups, opening tip coming up. First, let's join Madison Square Garden public address announcer Mike Walshevsky.
Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena for Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinal in the 2024 NBA playoffs. Today's matchup features the Indiana Pacers and your New York Knicks, presented by Delta Airlines. At this time, we ask that if you're able, please rise, remove your hats. Here to present our nation's colors, please welcome the New York City Police Department. And here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner as seen on NBC's The Voice, please welcome New York native, a recording artist, Marissa Ann.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. That a flag was still there. Oh, sang the sad star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Marissa Ann.
Ready to get rolling. Game 7 here at the Garden. Starting lineups, the Pacers in the regular season, a record of 47-35, earning the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. On the road, including the playoffs, they're 22-25, and they're 1-5 on the road in the postseason. Tyrese Halliburton, 6'4", fourth-year point guard out of Iowa State, averaging 20.5 points per game this series. In Game 5 at the Garden, he scored 13 points on 9 field goal attempts. Andrew Nembhard, 6'4", second-year guard from Gonzaga, had his best game of the series in Friday's Game 6 with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Aaron Nesmith, 6'6", fourth year out of Vanderbilt, 8 points and 6 rebounds in Game 6. His biggest contributions this series have been on defense as the Pacers' primary defender on Jalen Brunson. Pascal Siakam, 6'8", eighth-year forward out of New Mexico State, scored 25 points on Friday. In the 4 games that OG Anunoby has missed this series, Siakam is averaging 22 points. And in the middle, Miles Turner, 6'11", ninth year out of Texas. He has hit 30 three-pointers in 12 playoff games. This series, he's shooting 48% from downtown and averaging 2 block shots per game. And the Pacers head coach in his 22nd year as an NBA head coach is the former Knick, Rick Carlisle. As for the Knicks, 50-32 during the regular season, the 2nd seed here at the Garden, 32-15. In the playoffs at the Garden, 5-1. Led by Jalen Brunson, 6'2", sixth year out of Villanova, the leading scorer in the NBA playoffs with 33.7 points per game. In games this series at MSG, Brunson is averaging 38.7 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 6'5", sixth year out of Villanova, For the series, he's averaging 20 a game and shooting 42% from downtown. But over his last three, DiVincenzo is hitting 32% of his shots and 20% on three-pointers. Josh Hart, 6'4", seventh year out of Villanova. In the first 12 playoff games this season, 14.9 points a game, 11.8 rebounds. Hart is playing through an abdominal injury this afternoon. OG Anunoby back in the starting lineup, 6'7", seventh year out of Indiana. Hasn't played since Game 2. The last time he did play, we saw him score 28 points in 28 minutes before suffering a hamstring injury. And in the middle, Isaiah Hartenstein, 7'1", sixth year from Germany. Game 5 here at the Garden, he grabbed 17 rebounds, including 12 offensive rebounds. The head coach of the Knicks is Tom Thibodeau. Starting lineups introduced to this fired-up Madison Square Garden crowd. It is about time for Game 7 between the Knicks and the Pacers. So, Monica, we go through the starting five for the Knicks with Hart playing once again and with Anunoby back in the starting lineup. Something else you touched on during the pregame show, the Knicks playing rotation, should Tom Thibodeau want it to be, can be extended with Deuce McBride coming off the bench.
Not only Deuce McBride, but remember when OG Anunoby was initially still in the lineup to start this series, Alec Burks had not yet cracked the rotation. So you've got two guys that have proven that they can add in positive ways by coming off the bench. Miles Deuce McBride had been a part of the rotation through the Philly series. Not so much for Alec Burks. But when you look at him scoring 17 points in 2 games in Games 3 and 4, averaging 17 points in Games 3 and 4, and what he has done since then, you need depth in terms of battling this Pacers squad.
Our officiating crew this afternoon, Mark Davis, the crew chief. He works with James Capers and Bill Kennedy. The opening tip is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. For this one, the Knicks in their Association Edition uniforms, the home white with New York in orange across the chest above an orange number, and the Pacers for the 7th and final time this series wearing their yellow Statement Edition uniforms with a navy blue diagonal stripe down the right side above a white panel, Indiana in navy across the chest. One more time in this series, Hartenstein and Turner to jump it up. Garden crowd ready. Mark Davis steps in between the two starting centers. For the 8th time in the history of this building, the Knicks hosting a Game 7. The opening tip is controlled by the Knicks and Josh Hart, who gives back to Jalen Brunson. Bounce pass front court poked away out of bounds by Nembhard. It will stay with the Knicks.
Early in this one, Nembhard and Dante DiVincenzo not quite clearing one another's passes. There's a little shoulder-to-shoulder contact. The Knicks, as they say, as the mayor of New York Knicks fandom, Kendrick Perkins, says, are absolutely going to have to stand on business tonight.
Aaron Nesmith guards Brunson, dribbles near the Knicks logo. Now to the left side, Nesmith stays with him. Brunson crossover dribble towards the left elbow, backing his way in the paint. Fallback 10-footer is good.
It's a great sign when Jalen Brunson can get going early in the ball game.
Gets the roll on his first attempt. Now it's the Pacers' turn. DiVincenzo guards Halliburton, brings it left wing. Bounce pass, high post. Siakam's jumper is good, and we're tied at 2.
Remember, that high post free throw line extended was where Siakam killed the Knicks in Game 6 back in Indiana.
45 seconds gone by. DiVincenzo right wing. Nembhard guards him. Hartenstein, top of the arc, hands to Brunson, center of the court. Brunson jab steps left, goes right, pulls up for 3, in and out. Offensive rebound, Hartenstein kicks it out to Anunoby, up top Hart. He's left wide open, back to Anunoby, who fires a 3 and knocks it down. Anunoby's first attempt since Game 2, a 3-pointer from the left wing. 5-2 Knicks. Nembhard drives, stops at the block, steps through over Brunson. Tough leaner is good, and it's 5-4 Knicks.
Early in the ballgame, though, OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson connecting, and an offensive rebound that is going to be so important from Isaiah Hartenstein.
Nesmith up on Brunson, a step inside the midcourt line, runs around a hard screen, Now gives to Hart between the circles. Right back to Brunson, and we've got a whistle and a collision between Hart and Neesmith, and that one's against Aaron Neesmith as Hart is helped up by a couple of his Knicks teammates.
Aaron Neesmith has frankly been a little bit wild in this postseason, in this playoff series when it comes to trying to get around screens to stay attached to Jalen Brunson.
Brunson will inbound right next to Tom Thibodeau on the right side. Gets it back from Hart. Brings it left side. Left corner. DiVincenzo fakes the three. Jab step. Jab steps again from the left side. Now puts it on the floor. High post. Hartenstein's floater short. Rebounded by Nembhard. Here's Halliburton cross-court pass. Nembhard drives. Cut off by DiVincenzo. Picks up his dribble and gives to Turner. Turner guarded by Hartenstein. Now up top, Nembhard. Nembhard chased by Hart, brings it left side with the dribble, slip pass. Turner's foul line jumper is good. Pacers lead 6-5.
There's an aggressiveness that the Pacers are looking to play with right around that high post area, the free throw line. Both Siakam and Turner have scored there.
Here's Brunson around to Hartenstein screen from the left elbow. Now he's guarded by Nembhard. Wants to go to work on him. Brunson, right-handed dribble, backs it out near midcourt to restart his move. Picks up his dribble, 5 seconds to shoot. Anunoby from the right wing. He's going to have to create 2 seconds to shoot, so Anunoby's got to fire a jumper, and he knocks down a long two-pointer for OG Anunoby.
It's good to have OG back, that's for sure.
8-6, Knicks on top. Halliburton into the corner. Turner lines up an open three. That's good, and it's 9-8 Pacers.
Tyrese Halliburton showing a more aggressive approach than what we saw in Game 5.
Excuse me, Monica. It's 9-7 Pacers. The scoreboard here was wrong a moment ago. Pacers lead 9-7. 3 minutes gone by in the first. Brunson from the foul line. Bounce pass. DiVincenzo. Open three. Off the back of the rim. Chases and grabs his own rebound. Lays it up too strong. Hartenstein battling, but it's taken away by Nembhard. Here's Nembhard cross-court pass. Halliburton left open. His three from the left side is no good. Off the back of the rim. Rebound Josh Hart, and he wants to push. Hart, center of the court. Hesitation dribble all the way to the basket. No good with the runner. Rebounded by Neesmith, and here come the Pacers. Siakam on the right side. Anunoby picks him up. Siakam drives on his former teammate, floats it up and in, and the Pacers lead 11-7.
I understand Josh Hart has been successful in transition, but that time pushing the basketball versus two Pacers, he had Jalen Brunson in the opposite corner. Worst case scenario, you have to settle down on the half court and set for a shot in the half court set.
8:15 to go in the first. Brunson, a jab step and a jumper over Nembhard is no good off the side of the rim. It's knocked out of bounds off of Hartenstein. Pacers ball. It's actually a loose ball foul against Isaiah Hartenstein as he knocked the ball out of bounds. So it's his first foul and the team's first as well.
Isaiah Hartenstein clocks Aaron Neesmith in the side of the head going after that rebound.
8:05 to go in the first. Siakam brings it up. Anunoby a couple steps off of him. Nembhard near the top of the arc. Backdoor finds Siakam, who lays it in, and it's 13-7 Indiana.
So there's a little bit of a backdoor cut off of a screen. It's a back screen at that free throw line extended where the Pacers have really been able to create a hub for opportunities or creating offense that gets Siakam wide open.
Pacers lead by 6. Brunson has it. Center of the court. Picked up by Halliburton. Now Nembhard comes with a double team. Right wing. DiVincenzo fires away. Knocks it down. 13-10. Knicks down by 3.
Yeah, Dante DiVincenzo is free because of how blatantly the Pacers are double teaming Brunson.
Nembhard left wide open. Knocks down a three-pointer from the left wing, and the Pacers are back up by 6.
Don't love some of the clean looks that the Pacers have gotten. Just some lapses in the Knicks' defensive communication. How are you guarding screens? Who's guarding who in terms of matchups and assignments? Nembhard crosses half court. No one's guarding him. I don't blame him for taking that shot.
Tom Thibodeau, perhaps feeling the same way, calls timeout. Just underway here in Game 7. 7:19 to go in the first quarter. Pacers lead the Knicks 16-10. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event, so give your friends something to look at, like a B&B with an ocean view, an endless field of wildflowers, or a sunset that needs no filter. Make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV or powerful sedan. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Sale applies to purchase of specially tagged 2024 vehicles only. Quantities are limited. Must take delivery by 7/8/24.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window and Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window and Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window and Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window and Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been servicing New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for over 25 years. They offer premium customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate travel experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call them at 212-206-6974.
I'm a New Yorker. I want to contribute to public safety.
I want a six-figure salary.
I want to get paid after I retire.
I want to take my kids on vacation.
New York City Department of Correction Officer jobs are available now for strong, brave, bold New Yorkers with problem-solving and communication skills. Most earn more than $85,000 in their first year. Register today. Search the words City Exams on your phone, click, then scroll to Correction Officer.
Want to serve with a purpose? Take the test. Join, discover New York City Corrections. Take the test.
Back here at Madison Square Garden, Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt, 7:19 to go in the first quarter, and the Pacers lead the Knicks 16-10. Thanks to some hot shooting, Monica, for the Pacers. They have come out and hit 7 of their first 8 field goal attempts.
Yeah, and they've gotten some looks from the three-point line that were frankly wide open. I have more room to explain and understand the Miles Turner corner three after the dribble penetration by Tyrese Halliburton, but the last three by Andrew Nembhard being wide open, just coming across half court. The Knicks are going to have to wake up and be a little bit more alert and communicative on the defensive end.
Deuce McBride is at the scorer's table, and he's about to check in for the first time. OG Anunoby, who has 5 of the Knicks' 10 points on the bench right now. Anunoby seemed like he had a slight limp moving up and down the floor the first couple of trips, but he's also knocked down his only 2 perimeter attempts.
Yeah, that's something that I'm sure will be monitored closely. I can't tell from our vantage point. Well, he does have that left hamstring wrapped. I imagine that there are some heating pads on there just to keep him warm and feeling as comfortable as possible.
The Knicks down by 6. They'll inbound on the front court. It's Brunson. Ben Shepherd has checked in for Aaron Nesmith. Here's Hartenstein on the left wing. Hartenstein a couple dribbles. Hands to Brunson. Brunson around the Hartenstein screen. He's being chased by Nembhard. Finds DiVincenzo right corner, and that's 2 in a row for Dante DiVincenzo.
The penetration and the kick. Jalen Brunson had to navigate 4 yellow jerseys.
16-13. Siakam spins, fires, knocks it down. He's 4 for 4, and the Knicks trail by 5.
Those spin moves and that jab step by Pascal Siakam put Isaiah Hartenstein in a little bit of a mixer.
Siakam growing in confidence as this series continues. 18-13, 6:40 to go, first quarter. Brunson from the right wing, matched up with Nembhard. Now drives towards the foul line. Spins in the paint, into the corner. McBride passes on the 3. 3 seconds to shoot. McBride fires at 3 off the front of the rim. Back tap by Hartenstein. Knocked around. Picked up by Hartenstein. Bounce pass inside for Hart. Dribbles out of trouble, and the Knicks have it with 10 seconds to shoot. DiVincenzo from up top. 3 3-pointers in a row for Dante DiVincenzo.
Shooter shoot to get hot and shooter shoot to stay hot. We love the 40% number overall, but the reality of the 20% number in the last 3 games was there. But Dante DiVincenzo still letting it fly with confidence.
He is hot right now. Siakam from the top. Knicks down by 2. Stops at the right block. Kicks it back out to Turner. Turner, up top pass, Siakam fires the 3. That is good for Pascal Siakam, and he's hit his first 5 shots.
Pascal Siakam is doing a really good job of sizing up whoever his defender is and taking what the defense is giving him.
Brunson, right elbow, floats it up and in from 12 feet away, 21-18. Quickly, the other end of the court, it's Shepherd. Beating everyone down court, a layup off the feed from Siakam, and the Knicks are down by 5.
Well, Shepherd is the beneficiary because it was Siakam that leaked out immediately after the score by Jalen Brunson.
Pacers have hit 10 of their first 11 shots. 5:20 to go in the first. Knicks down 5. Brunson a side-to-side dribble, guarded by Nembhard. Up top pass for Hart. Drives, stops, floats it up and in from the dotted circle. Knicks within 3.
It's a big-time basket by Josh Hart and a good sign in terms of core strength.
His first bucket of the afternoon. Now it's Hart guarding Siakam from the left side. Siakam backing him in, 15 feet from the basket. Hart holding his ground. Turner gets free inside, misses the dunk. Rebounded by Hartenstein. Outlet to DiVincenzo. With the defender on his back, DiVincenzo all the way in, and he is fouled by Tyrese Halliburton.
The swag, we'll call it, that Dante DiVincenzo plays with is necessary for this basketball game. There's just a slight differentiation, between competing at a high level and a little bit of extra swag.
Now, Monica, on one end of the floor, Rick Carlisle has signaled for a timeout. On the other end of the floor, Pascal Siakam just shoved Isaiah Hartenstein. Security personnel for both teams are on the floor, as well as at least one member of the Indiana Pacers bench is well out onto the floor. There's going to be a timeout, but players from both sides have yet to retreat to their respective benches. The Knicks are now doing so, and now the Pacers are.
I see a couple of Pacers that are off the bench that shouldn't be. So that'll be interesting. I believe... No, I don't think that was Isaiah Jackson. There were two guys that are
I think that was Jarris Walker.
Yeah, it's Jarris Walker and James Jones. But, NBA rule number one these days is you don't leave the bench. But it's funny that occurs as we're discussing a little bit of swag. Dante DiVincenzo has a right to the space that Pascal Siakam was in, and that's how that started.
Indiana has called a timeout to challenge a foul assessed Halliburton.
So that's the voice of our crew chief, Mark Davis. That's what they're looking at for now, according to Davis. Rick Carlisle is challenging the personal foul that was called on Tyrese Halliburton, with Dante DiVincenzo taking it to the basket. So we'll step away as they take a look at that. 4:50 to go in the first quarter. Pacers lead the Knicks 23-20. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
At Audi Manhattan, experience best-in-class service in the heart of New York City, conveniently located at 55th Street and 11th Avenue. Free indoor valet parking is available. Visit the Audi flagship store today. Here's a deal just for you. Enjoy complimentary Audi care with the lease or purchase of any new Audi. Shop 24 hours a day at AudiManhattan.com. Audi Manhattan, where luxury meets excellence.
Grand Marnier is an award-winning blend of fine cognac and orange liqueur. It's made for those who live to step outside the box, who like to put a twist on the traditional and believe in a world that's not just good, but grand. Visit GrandMarnier.com to learn how to take cocktails from ordinary to extraordinary and live grand. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2022, Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style. Always drink responsibly.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Getting engaged will be one of the most exciting times of your life, and the winning team at London Jewelers is there to help you pop the question. The cutting-edge technology and trained professionals at London Jewelers can help you select a ring from their 2 by London collection or design the absolute perfect ring at any budget. So whether you're starting out or starting over, let the engagement experts at London Jewelers help you. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 7 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the Mall at Short Hills.
Unsportsmanlike act. As it being the second time out, Indy will not receive another timeout. However, they receive an additional coaching challenge. Ball be awarded on the sideline. Reset the shot clock to 24.
All right, welcome back. That was the voice of our crew chief, Mark Davis. So it's a successful challenge for Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. The review showing that contact was made first with the basketball, so the foul is rescinded against Tyrese Halliburton. In addition to that, double technical fouls for Dante DiVincenzo and Pascal Siakam. So that's where we stand now, Monica. 4:50 to go in the first quarter, and the Knicks trailing 23-20.
So, a good take by Dante DiVincenzo, and Tyrese Halliburton narrowly gets ball before he would have made contact with DiVincenzo's wrist. But here we are.
So the last part of that, it was determined that the ball was knocked out of bounds off of Dante DiVincenzo because possession is being awarded to the Indiana Pacers. So the Knicks not only lose out on Dante DiVincenzo free throw attempts, but they also lose possession. 4:45 to go in the first. By winning that challenge, Rick Carlisle has exactly one remaining for the rest of the game. Here's T.J. McConnell in the game for the first time. His pass deflected, chased down by Obi Toppin, who is also making his first appearance. Halliburton, hesitation dribble, kicks it out. Toppin open three, air ball, offensive rebound, short on the putback attempt by Halliburton. He was wide open at the rim.
And Isaiah Hartenstein cleans up.
DiVincenzo fakes, dribbles, fires, front rim, and he can't get the roll. It's knocked out of bounds off of Isaiah Hartenstein.
Hartenstein is definitely playing with the energy that he had in Game 5 that gave him those 17 rebounds. Even that last one, hustling to what was nearly an offensive rebound, but just couldn't keep the ball in bounds.
17 rebounds in that game, 12 on the offensive glass. Good ball movement here by the Pacers. McConnell has it, center of the court, brings it left side with the dribble. DiVincenzo guards him. Now McConnell towards the top of the key. Cross-court pass. Halliburton, right side three-pointer is good, and it's 26-20 Indy.
The Pacers have been really crisp with their screening actions, and the Knicks aren't doing a good job of communicating to get around.
They're 4 for 6 from downtown. 3:45 to go in the first quarter. Brunson, top of the arc, now brings it left side with the dribble. McConnell now guarding Brunson on the left side. They clear out for him. Right side pass, Hart fakes the three, and Toppin runs into him as he bit on the pump fake.
It's a great pump fake by Josh Hart. Obi Toppin, he's athletic enough that he probably could have closed out sharp. Josh Hart has gotten hot from behind the three-point line, but I don't know about running at him that hard. Either way, the Knicks will certainly take the foul drawn and proceed to inbound the basketball.
Second team foul against the Pacers here in the first. Off the inbound, Brunson has it back. It's free thanks to a screen. Pulls up, foul line jumper is good. Jalen Brunson has 6, and the Knicks trail by 4.
All right, let's see if the Knicks can do a little bit of a better job communicating defensively on this possession.
Here's Halliburton on the curl down the lane. Hartenstein cuts him off. His pass into the corner goes to Turner. Backing in, loses the ball, dives on the floor. Hartenstein ties him up, and will have a jump ball between the two centers.
It looks like Miles Turner may have rolled up on Isaiah Hartenstein's ankle. He reached down for that right foot for a bit, but he is up and walking it off.
Getting a nice ovation from the crowd for his efforts, for his hustle. So Hartenstein and Turner to jump it up. 11 seconds on the shot clock should the Pacers win the tip. And that was a false start as our outside official James Capers blows the play dead. And we'll do it again. 3:17 to go first quarter. 26-22, Pacers on top. Pacers shooting 73% from the field so far. Knicks an even 50%.
Mark Davis having to give some very deliberate instructions about how the guys can line up for this jump ball.
Here we go. Second attempt. Hartenstein back taps it, but out of bounds, so it'll stay with Indy. 11 seconds to shoot. The Pacers get to inbound on their baseline. Shepard, Toppin, McConnell, Turner, and Halliburton on the floor for them. McConnell inbounds underneath the basket. Right corner goes to Halliburton. Brings it up towards the top with the dribble. Top of the key, now inside the foul line. Step back, pump fake. Now he fires the contested jumper, and he hits it. 28-22. Knicks down 6. Brunson picked up by Shepard. He's one-on-one with him. Brunson wants to go at the rookie from Belmont. Between the legs, dribble, back and forth, steps through, floats it up, off the back of the rim. Rebound is picked up by Toppin, who starts quickly the other way. Into the far corner, it's Shepard. Back up top, Halliburton fakes the left side three, now dribbles into another one and knocks it down. Pacers lead 31-22. Tyrese Halliburton already with 8 points, 2 for 3 from behind the arc.
There's the full court pressure versus Jalen Brunson as T.J. McConnell is guarding him all the way up the floor.
Brunson on the right wing, drives on McConnell, floats it up, and can't get the roll. Bounced in and out, fighting for his own rebound, but it's pulled down by Shepard. Here's Halliburton dribbling out of trouble, chased by McBride. Now DiVincenzo picks him up as the ball is sent to the left side of the court, and McConnell back to Halliburton. He's feeling it, fires another three, rattles it home. Knicks down by 12, 34-22.
Tyrese Halliburton has been an X-factor so far in this one with his overall aggressiveness.
2:03 to go in the first quarter, and Tom Thibodeau, with his team down a dozen, calls timeout.
Halliburton has 11 points so far in this one, as does Pascal Siakam. Right now, the aggressiveness that the Pacers are playing with has the Knicks on their heels. The last couple of shots are looks that you're accustomed to Jalen Brunson getting to fall. One rims out, and the other he gets contested when Miles Turner comes over and helps. But the thing is, they're not waiting. The Pacers, that is, off of misses or makes, they are gone, and it's requiring the Knicks to level up in terms of matching up earlier.
Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is your radio home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 98.7 ESPN, WEPN FM, New York.
Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt with you. Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, along with executive producer Ray Santiago, engineer Gary Jeffries, longtime statistician Harry Robinson. 2:03 to go in the first quarter, and the Pacers have opened up their largest lead of the afternoon so far, 34-22, as their hot shooting continues.
Hot is right. They are shooting 75% from the three and practically 78% from the field.
Spreading it around, Halliburton is 3 for 4 from downtown. Turner and Siakam have each hit a 3 as well. So the Knicks will inbound to the front court. Precious Achiuwa into the game in replace of Isaiah Hartenstein. So DiVincenzo inbounds, front court, left side. Guarded by Shepard. Finds Brunson. Knocked away by McConnell out of bounds right at midcourt. So the Knicks will do it again a little further back.
Rick Carlisle talks pregame about the growth of his team in the last month of play since this postseason has begun. They are demonstrating some of that here in the Garden.
They're a young team, but they have gained a wealth of experience in these first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Brunson working from the left wing, one-on-one with McConnell, backing his way in, and there's a foul on the floor against T.J. McConnell.
The one thing I will say, Pat, the Pacers are sort of switching up some of their defense. 3 possessions in a row, we've seen a combination. Out of 2 of those possessions, Tyrese Halliburton is lurking in very, very heavy help loading up to Jalen Brunson. And then one of those possessions, there was no help until Miles Turner came over late. Jalen's got to decide when he can just go instead of playing with the basketball.
Here's Brunson, right wing. DiVincenzo wants to drive on Shepard. Pulls up for the mid-range jumper and knocks it down.
It's a good move by Dante DiVincenzo. In rhythm, off the bounce.
Minute 40 to go. Knicks down by 10 here in the first quarter. Halliburton just inside midcourt. Tries to drive on McBride. Stops his dribble. Underneath pass for Toppin. Bounce pass to McConnell. Fall away inside the paint is good, and the Knicks are down again by 12.
Really good defense there by Josh Hart right in McConnell's face. Just a tougher basket by the offense in McConnell.
36-24 here in the first. Minute 15 to go. Knicks down. Brunson with the ball. Between the legs dribble. Wants to drive on McConnell, who moves his feet, cuts him off. Brunson keeps penetrating. Floats it up. It's short. Halliburton the rebound. Minute 5 to go in the first. McBride guards Halliburton, who uses the screen, steps into a left wing 3, knocks it down. 39-24. They have made their last 6 attempts, the Pacers have. Final minute of the first quarter. McConnell on Brunson. The guarding crowd has been quieted some. On the left side, it's McBride pulling up. Baseline jumper is good.
It's a good-looking shot from Deuce McBride. I'd like to see Jalen Brunson lean on his teammates a little bit more. He's had to settle for very difficult shots in crowds versus the Pacers.
Chance of defense as the crowd tries to get going. Siakam at the high post, guarded by Achiuwa. Now gives the ball to Halliburton, who has been on fire here in the first. He's pestered by McBride. 6 seconds to shoot. Siakam tries to drive on Achiuwa. Pull-up jumper, no good off the back of the rim. Hart taps the rebound, picked up by Brunson. Knicks looking to push, has DiVincenzo out ahead. Catches, gathers, reverse layup is no good, but DiVincenzo is fouled by Shepard.
Really wanted that to be an and-one play, as you could hear the guarding crowd let out an oh. Although he'll go to the free throw line. That was a good defensive possession by Precious Achiuwa. Pascal Siakam got to his spot on the right side of the free throw line extended, and he got a look that we've seen him knock down way too much, if you're honest, since last game.
First one is good for DiVincenzo. These are the first free throw attempts of the game for either team. Jalen Brunson goes to the bench. Alec Burks makes his first appearance with 17.8 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Knicks down 39-27. DiVincenzo, second one is no good, short. McConnell the rebound.
Free throws have been plaguing the Knicks.
Last couple of games they have. Here's McConnell. Shot clock is off. DiVincenzo pesters him. Down to 7 seconds in the quarter. DiVincenzo pokes it away from behind, taken by Achua. 3 seconds to go. Hart into the front court. Finds DiVincenzo. Lines up a three. No good. And that'll end the first quarter. The Knicks trailing by 12.
Well, they ran into a bit of a buzzsaw in terms of this Pacers offense. They're shooting 76% from the field and 78% from the three-point line. 7 of 9. And so being able to withstand that and it just be a 12-point game, there's a lot of time left to be played. But this is why scoring was one of my keys. The Knicks are going to have to hit shots at a high level, and that includes at the free throw line. Even though they only had 2 free throws in this one, you don't want to leave opportunities there. There's got to be a little bit more ball movement and a little bit more trust from Jalen Brunson and his team for his teammates.
Dante DiVincenzo, a team-high 12 points in that first quarter. The Knicks hitting 46% of their shots, in contrast to Indiana's 76% shooting so far. So the first quarter of Game 7 is in the books. The Pacers 39 and the Knicks 27. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
If you've ever asked yourself if you could do more to help struggling young people turn their lives around, apply to become a youth development specialist, where you will supervise and support young people in detention. It's challenging, it's rewarding, it's a union job with a $51,000 starting salary, and perhaps most importantly, it's a job that has a positive impact on the lives of young people. NYC residency not required. Apply to become a youth development specialist today at nyc.gov/YDS. That's nyc.gov/YDS.
Now, it all started on a rainy Sunday, and I was enjoying a peaceful drive before the arrival of the in-laws when...
It's a disaster. That sneaky dog of yours got up on the counter and gobbled up the cake.
So I can pick up...
It's gotta be from the place off Highway 9. Hurry, they're almost here.
Luckily, my Nissan Altima was built to handle the unexpected. With available intelligent all-wheel drive, I was able to save the day without a slip-up.
You made it.
Piece of cake.
Drive the Nissan Altima. Now get a low $209 per month lease for 36 months on the 2024 Nissan Altima. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Well-qualified lessees 2024 Altima SD front-wheel drive. $40.49 initial payment excludes tax, title, license, and $695 acquisition fee. Includes $625 manufacturer's rebate applied to $209 per month lease. Disposition fee to at lease send. Take from new dealer stock. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details. N6324.
I like what I like, and I do what I want.
If what you like is playing the loosest slots, getting the most free play, and finding more of your favorite games, all on a spacious upscale gaming floor, then Wind Creek Bethlehem is your kind of fabulous. No matter what fabulous means to you, you'll find it here. Wind Creek Bethlehem. Must be 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Back here at Madison Square Garden as we get set for the start of the second quarter. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt with you. The Knicks got a lift early on, Monica, by the appearance of OG Anunoby and Josh Hart at the starting lineup, and then Anunoby's play, 5 points in the first 4 minutes. But as the first quarter progressed, it was the two All-Stars of the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, combining for 25 points, and they lead by 12.
They're the only two amongst the Pacers that have scored in double digits, while the Knicks only have Dante DiVincenzo in that category. Now, here's the thing, Pat. They shot a blistering 76% from the field in that first quarter. Will that number regress to the mean? I imagine so, but the Knicks got to do their part by locking in defensively.
Brunson and Hart, along with Anunoby, on the bench for the Knicks to begin this second quarter. Trailing 39-27, Pacers ball. Nesmith drives on Hartenstein. Around him, finishes with the left hand off the glass, and the Knicks are down by 14. 25 seconds gone by, second quarter. McBride bringing the ball up court, gives to Hartenstein on the left side. Hartenstein left wing Achua. He's left wide open. Siakam gives his space. Now he gives to DiVincenzo, who's fouled along the baseline, driving on Pascal Siakam.
It's a very loud how Pascal Siakam asked of Mark Davis.
It's going the other way.
He called DiVincenzo for
out of bounds,
stepping on the baseline.
Yes, before any foul would occur, DiVincenzo did step on the baseline on the drive. So the Knicks turn it over, down by 14. Minute gone by here in the second quarter. Isaiah Jackson in the game for the first time. Pass up top for Siakam. Drives down the lane in the corner for McConnell. He's cut off by Achua. 6 seconds to shoot. McConnell bounce pass inside. Jackson, his floater is good. Pacers have their largest lead, 43-27.
There's just so much movement in the Pacers offense, and the Knicks are having a hard time accounting for all the bodies.
McBride across the timeline, guarded by McConnell. Now it's Hartenstein between the circles. Drives right side, kicks it out. Achua passes on the open look, gives to McBride instead. His three is no good off the back of the rim. Jackson couldn't corral the rebound, and there's a foul against the Knicks and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, that's the second loose ball foul to go against Isaiah Hartenstein, trying to get to a rebound.
His second foul of the game. He's the only Knick who has committed at least one foul. 43-27 Pacers, 10:35 to go in the second. McConnell right baseline, kicks it out on the wing to Jackson, back to McConnell, who tries to drive on Hartenstein. Reverse layup is up and good.
The mismatches are really creating a problem. Isaiah Hartenstein, for as good as his feet are in terms of defending in space, when he's got to defend smaller guards that are on the move, he's just at a tremendous disadvantage.
45-27. Pacers on top. 10-10 to go in the second. Alec Burks trying to get free of Neesmith. Drives all the way to the basket. Reverse layup is good on the foul.
We talked about this a lot in Game 6. Alec Burks being one of the few guys that was able to create his own shot in addition to Jalen Brunson with some consistency versus this Pacers defense.
Alec Burks, this is 6th game played in this series and in the playoffs, has given the Knicks a huge lift off the bench, as we have discussed, coming in averaging 12.5 points a game in 19 minutes off the bench.
Tom Thibodeau's rotations are going to be something to key in on today. I don't know. Do you think we've seen the last of OG Anunoby today?
He played the first 4 minutes, hit his first 2 jump shots. We haven't seen him since. Burks finishes the three-point play. Knicks trail by 15, 45-30, coming up on 10 minutes to play in the second. Up top, it's Jackson, guarded loosely by Hartenstein. Jackson puts it on the floor and gives off to McConnell. Straight line drive, leaves his feet, finds the cutting Jackson, flips it up, and it is no good, but a foul. And this is against Precious Achua. Jackson muscling his way inside against Precious Achua, so he'll go to the free throw line with 9:52 to go. It's the second team foul this quarter against the Knicks.
This is a tough call because Precious Achua is in sound position initially, but Jackson, with that wiry energy, kind of gets into his body and forces him off balance. So he's really trying to get his balance and leans on Jackson a little bit.
First free throw by Jackson is short off the front of the rim. Third-year backup center out of Kentucky is 3 for 7 from the foul line in this series. Andrew Nembhard back off the Pacers bench. He'll replace Neesmith. On the floor for the Knicks right now, their bench unit, McBride, Burks, Achua, along with DiVincenzo and Hartenstein. Second free throw for Jackson. Pacers lead by 15. Taking a long time to set himself. Free throw is good. It's 46-30. More full court pressure by Indiana. Achua brings it into the front court with the dribble and hands to Burks on the left side. Nembhard just back in the game guarding Burks. Now Hartenstein between the circles. Jackson up on him. Gives to DiVincenzo. Drives right side. Now cuts back left. DiVincenzo still with the dribble. Trying to get himself free of Shepard. Throws it into space and it's scooped up by Nembhard. Here come the Pacers the other way. McBride cuts off Nembhard. McConnell left open. Crossover dribble in the paint. Over Burks. Gets the roll. Pacers lead by 18 again. Knicks looking to push it up court. Tom Thibodeau wants a timeout.
McConnell has just been so pesky. He gets off that bounce quickly and is able to finish in the paint. And then that last time down for Dante DiVincenzo, it's just so much iso ball. He's trying to work around this screen from Isaiah Hartenstein, and when he's not comfortable with what he's been given, the pass is awry, and it basically leads to a Pacers run out.
Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hill. Timeout Knicks with 9:19 to go in the second quarter of Game 7. Knicks trail the Pacers 48-30. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been servicing New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for over 25 years. They offer premium customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate travel experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call them at 212-206-6974.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Want to stay cool for the next 2 summers without spending a penny? Slomin's has the AC offer of the century. Get 18 months with 0 payments and 0 interest. That's right, you don't need to make any payments for 18 months. Plus, Slomin's offers next-day installation. Get an AC system installed as early as tomorrow with no payments for 18 months interest-free. Call 516-932-7000 to get your free estimate. That's 516-932-7000.
18-month promo period. No payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. This offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
Back here at the Garden, 9:19 to go, second quarter. Pacers lead the Knicks 48-30. Monica, this according to ESPN stats and information, the 39 points the Pacers scored in the first quarter were the most that a team has ever scored to start a Game 7. They haven't cooled off any here in the second, hitting their first 4 field goal attempts of this period.
Yeah, there are some unfortunate offensive markers that the Pacers have hit that you're sort of surprised by when you think of how good this Knicks team have been defensively and on the glass all season long. One of them that I saw coming into this one was that the Pacers are shooting 40.9% from 3 in this series, which is the best three-point percentage by any team in a playoff series since Miami in 2023 in the Eastern Conference Finals, which really sort of surprises you when you think of the Knicks. But then again, partner, you got to think of the entire context of the Knicks, and they've had to endure so many injuries.
Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart back on the floor. DiVincenzo has gone to the bench for the first time today. Achua remains out there. He hands the ball to Brunson, whips it into the corner. Hart, no hesitation on a 3. It's short off the front of the rim. Hart chasing after his own rebound and is called for going over the back of McConnell.
McConnell collides with McBride awkwardly. McBride seems to be okay. McConnell definitely takes the brunt of it, but it was an awkward collision.
Hart got him from behind, and McConnell's momentum carried him into McBride, who was on the other side of him. Everyone is okay now. McBride is guarding McConnell. So the Pacers have the ball back. They haven't missed a shot yet here in the second. 9:05 to go. Knicks down by 18. Nembhard drives, kicks it out right side. Shepard fakes the 3, drives, floater, gets the roll. Knicks down by 20. 50-30 here at the Garden. Brunson just back into the game, now pestered by T.J. McConnell. Goes around a McBride screen, has it knocked away and stolen by Shepard. A lot of contact there inside. Brunson wondering, where's the whistle? Here's McConnell. Lob pass down low, Siakam. He's posting up McBride. Size advantage there. Burks comes with a double team. Underneath it, Shepard. Scoop pass Jackson. Slam dunk. 52-30 Pacers.
Man, 18 points was previously the largest comeback in a Game 7 in this postseason. The Cavs did that versus the Magic.
That was in a Game 7. Here's Hart down the lane, draws contact. Fouled by Andrew Nembhard, and Josh Hart, forcing the issue, will get himself to the free throw line.
Crazier things have happened, but the Knicks there's got to be more defensive pressure Because the Pacers are literally just flying around, cutting the open spots, finding their guys, and you got the bench roaring and making a bunch of noise.
Hart's first free throw is good. And this run right now by Indiana with 3 members of their bench on the floor. Now Isaiah Jackson, Ben Shepherd, and Pascal Siakam go back to the bench. Neesmith is in with Turner, Nembhard, Toppin, and McConnell. One more free throw for Josh Hart. It's good. So the Knicks back down by 20 with 8:10 to go in the second. Nembhard guarded by Burks. High post, it goes to Turner. Chua guards him. Here's Nembhard between the circles. Goes left side with the dribble. Cut off by Burks. Up top, Turner fires a 3. Short off the front of the rim. McBride knocks the rebound out of bounds. Off of the Knicks.
It's a good hustle by McBride. Just unfortunate that he couldn't keep that ball in bounds.
Offensive rebounds today. That was the first credited to Indiana. They've done a better job on the glass since the last time they were here at the Garden in Game 5 when they were out-rebounded 53-29. Here's McConnell, left wing. Bounce pass, high post. Turner, top of the key jumper is good. 54-32. 7:44 to go in the second. Full court pressure. Achua has it. Brings it into the front court. Guarded by Turner. Hands the ball to Burks, left baseline. Jumper is good.
It's a good handoff there. A little nervous in that execution, being the press with pressure to Chua handling, but a great read by Alec Burks.
A lift off the bench so far provided by Alec Burks with 5 points. Here's McConnell, left wing, Nembhard. Good closeout by Brunson on the 3. We've got a whistle and a travel against Andrew Nembhard.
All right, look, I know it's a 20-point hole if you're the Knicks, but you got to string together a few stops. Can that be one to help get you going? The Knicks have got to play faster. This slow and lugging isolation is playing into this Pacers defense.
Crowd starting to come alive, trying to get the Knicks back in this game. Here's Hart in the right corner, right wing for Burks. Drives, stops at the dotted circle, fallback jumper is good.
The decisiveness of Alec Burks going right at his defender is going to be hugely important.
54-36, Knicks down 18. Chance of defense here. McConnell on the left wing, one dribble, hands to Neesmith, back to Nembhard. Between the circles. Nembhard guarded by Burks. Around the Turner screen. Now he drives. Reverse layup is good.
The quickness of the smaller Pacers guards in particular has been problematic.
Nembhard has 7. Brunson brings it. Ball squirts free for a moment. Gets it back. Cross court Burks. Fakes the 3. Drives again. Pull up 14-footer is good. And Alec Burks feeling it here in the second.
That should have been an and 1 play.
Knicks back with an 18. Alec Burks, 9 points off the bench. Nembhard, top of the key, now brings it right side with the dribble. Picked up by Achua on the switch. Looking for something, and he traveled again.
You got to get a couple of consecutive of those, right? There's like turnover, Knicks opportunity. Oh, you let the Pacers score. Like, you got to try to string together a couple of those stops. That's a good sign. But the Knicks want to string together a couple more of those. Again, let's play the cut the deficit game. Can you get it down to 10?
Tyrese Halliburton back in. He had 14 points in the first quarter. Knicks with the ball down by 18. Brunson turning the corner at the foul line. Baseline pass to Chua. Couple of dribbles, circles underneath the basket. Brings it to the left baseline with the dribble. One-on-one with Turner. Backing in. Floats it up. No good. Turner lost the ball out of bounds. It'll stay with the Knicks.
The one-on-one ball has become a little bit contagious in a way that I'm not a fan of tonight. The only person that has been decisive and aggressive in his one-on-one play so far has been Alec Burks. Everybody else is just too much song and dancing with this defense, and you're not forcing this Pacers defense to move.
Here's Burks in the right corner, right in front of the Knicks bench, which is standing. Bounce pass up top for Achua, and now back to McBride. Turning the corner. Pass, Turner lays it up. Blocked from behind by Miles Turner. McBride gets it back. Right wing pass, Burks. Fakes the pass, drives, lays it up, no good. But a foul as Alec Burks ends up on his back, and he's heading back to the free throw line.
So a couple of good things there. I like the McBride take because you just go, right? Then you get the same thing from Burks, and he earns himself a trip to the free throw line. But the between the legs, tween clean, as the kids say, like, it's just too much.
Crowd chanting Alec Burks' name. A week ago, he was out of the rotation. Now his name being chanted at the Garden. as it quiets for his first free throw attempt, which is good. Pascal Siakam back into the game, and Rick Carlisle calls a timeout, Monica, with 5:33 to go in the second. Knicks down by 17, but some signs of life.
If you can make this next free throw, you're looking at a 16-point hole with 5:33 to go. So now you're looking at, if we chop this thing up, 6 points you need to come up with, 3 stops potentially, and if you can score two two-point field goals or get a 3 in there, fantastic. Then it's a 10-point ball game. If you could do that in the next 3 minutes or so, holding on to a 10-point deficit and playing with that with 2:30 to go in this half is not a bad spot to be in, considering how torrid this Pacers offense was to start the ball game.
There's the blueprint right there from my partner. Your sweet, shareable summer awaits. Head to your local Kia dealer and check out the Tech Forward Forte, or a capable SUV. Kia, movement that inspires. Timeout Pacers. One more free throw coming for Alec Burks when we come back. We've got 5:33 to go in the second, and the Pacers lead the Knicks 56-39 here in game number 7. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Have you ever driven across the Whitestone Bridge and wondered who could possibly paint this? The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association. That's who. With our local 806 partners, members of the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association work hard to ensure New York City's bridges, roads, and rails are safe, beautiful, and ready for the future. You've seen our work. The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association partnered with the New York Department of Transportation on the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, applying new coatings seen by thousands of people and captured in selfies every day. That's just one of the many pieces of iconic steel structures that the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association has helped revitalize. Every day you see subway stops, bridges, highway ramps, and steel structures restored and painted by us. We're the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association, adding a little color to the Big Apple. To learn more about our association and career opportunities, visit nySSPCA.net.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FOODSAVE10 for the largest selection of international foods and all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce. And $10 off your first order of $50. Use promo code FOODSAVE10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event, so give your friends something to look at, like a B&B with an ocean view, an endless field of wildflowers, or a sunset that needs no filter. Make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV or powerful sedan. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Sale applies to purchase of specially tagged 2024 vehicles only. Quantities are limited. Must take delivery by 7/8/24.
Back here at the Garden, Game 7, second round, 5:33 to go in the second quarter, and the Pacers lead the Knicks 56-39. Pacers still shooting 80% from the field, and they have led by as many as 22 points. But once again, as he has done throughout this series, Monica, Alec Burks has come off the bench and given the Knicks just an enormous lift.
He's been great. We talked about that pregame. He's shown that he can score on this Pacers defense, where the Knicks are a little bit hamstrung in terms of getting other guys that can create off the bounce in the half-court set. Alec Burks has been able to do that.
So Burks has 10 points here in the second. He's at the free throw line looking for number 11. One more free throw to come out of the Rick Carlisle timeout. He's 4 for 4 from the field. Free throw up and good. So the deficit a moment ago was 22, and now it's 16. 5.5 to play here in the second.
Carlisle has made some key substitutions, going back to Siakam and Halliburton.
Got his entire starting 5 on the floor. For the Knicks, Brunson and Hart, the only starters out there. Nembhard driving, pass deflected by Hart, picked up by Brunson. Outlet pass to Chewy. Here he comes, and a two-handed slam, and the Knicks are down by 14.
That defense leads to offense. The Knicks got to turn on the best of their postseason defense right here, right now.
Crowd getting louder. 5:08 to go. Halliburton pestered by McBride. Cross-court pass finds Siakam on the left wing. Good closeout by Hart. Pokes it away again, but Siakam keeps it. Hands to Nesmith. Bounce pass in the block. Siakam is double-teamed. Foul line pass. Nembhard's jumper is good.
Really poised cut by Nembhard. As a neutral observer, you got to give him credit for being a release point for Pascal Siakam, who was being doubled by Brunson and Hart.
He's a perfect 4 for 4 with 9 points, coming off his best game of the series in Game 6. Here's Brunson, left wing, one-on-one. Neesmith drives on him, kicks it into the corner. Achua hands to Burks. Pump fake, one dribble, fires a three. No good off the front of the rim. Was short as Nembhard grabs the rebound. Brings it all the way up himself. Leaves his feet, finds Neesmith. Right wing three-pointer is good, and just like that, 5 straight points for the Pacers. They're back up by 19.
They are shooting the ball with such prolific efficiency.
81% from the field, 73% from downtown. McBride left open, right wing three-pointer off the back of the rim. Turner, good box out and rebound over Achua. 4 minutes to go until halftime. Halliburton bounce pass, right block, Siakam back out to Halliburton, up top Turner. Good closeout by Brunson. They dump it inside. Siakam, one dribble, turns, lays it up, no good. Too strong on the layup and rebounded by Hart, who brings it up court himself, drives on 3 Pacers defenders, finds McBride, right wing pass Burks, down the lane, flips it up, it's good, and the foul.
Alec Burks, goodness gracious, been a guardian angel of sorts for the Knicks, and there's still so much work to do to really say that this team is still in this thing.
3:41 to go in the second. The deficit is 17. The Alec Burks chance continuing here from the Garden crowd.
Dante DiVincenzo is waiting to check in. I don't think you can take Burks out if you're Tibbs.
That appears to be the plan as he finishes the three-point play. Burks has 14 points here in the second in 8 minutes. That's a heater. Knicks down 16.
Can you imagine if the Knicks didn't have that?
Here's Halliburton cut off. Little pitch and catch with Turner. Halliburton right wing. Bounce pass underneath. Turner, good position. Lays it up, no good. But he gets his own rebound. The putback is good, plus the foul.
Who's this foul going to go against? Is it Hartenstein?
Brunson got caught on him, but it's against Isaiah Hartenstein, Monica, and that is his third.
So that means Hartenstein's going to have to come out of this ball game, and as I had hoped, Tibbs goes with the substitution of Dante DiVincenzo for McBride instead of Alec Burks. So one of the few guys that's been able to score the basketball consistently tonight remains on the floor.
So Hartenstein had just checked back in, and now he leaves again with his third personal foul. So to reset the Knicks lineup, Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Burks with Hart and now Precious Achua at the center position. Turner's free throw is good. Knicks trail 64-45 with 3:20 to go in the second. Brunson top of the arc, one-on-one with Neesmith. Backing his way down with the dribble. Spins, falls to the floor, and is fouled by Neesmith.
I know that Jalen Brunson got that foul call. God, it's just so much one-on-one. And listen, it's such a fine line between that being the formula that practically has gotten the Knicks to this point and being able to appreciate and understand the necessity of how this team plays, but also to feel a little bit of today's matchup. Allowing the Pacers to guard one-on-one or in a crowd, especially when you got a guy like Alec Burks who's giving you some offense, it just seems like you got to be a little bit more quick to move the basketball. It will come back to Jalen Brunson for sure.
It was the second foul against Neesmith. The Pacers are over the limit, so Brunson hit the first free throw. Second one coming up. 3:12 to go in the second. Knicks down 18. Brunson hits them both. He's got 8 here in the first half. 64-47 is the Indiana lead. Now some full court pressure being shown by the Knicks. DiVincenzo runs through a Nembhard screen to stay with Halliburton, who works hard to get it into the front court. Finds Siakam up top, who hands it behind him to Nembhard. Slip pass to Siakam at the foul line. Back up top, Halliburton with the dribble on the right side. Halliburton probing, step back, 17-foot jumper is good. His first points of the second quarter. He has 16 for the game.
You gotta look up if you're the Knicks, though.
Knicks down by 19. Brunson between the circles, one-on-one with Shepard. Fires a 3. Front rim doesn't get the roll. Rebound taken by Siakam. Outlet pass, Nembhard on the left side. Stops his dribble at the foul line. Now Halliburton working from the right down the lane. Switches and blocks out of bounds by Achua.
I wish the Knicks would take a little bit out of the Pacers' handbook and just pass the ball up the floor.
Tom Thibodeau is all the way out on the court, signaling for a timeout. James Capers didn't hear him, and Tom Thibodeau wants to challenge this last call.
It does. On the replay here on Garden Vision, it does look like it goes off of Tyrese Halliburton's fingertips last.
So there's a big coach's challenge.
Just called it out to initiate the coach's challenge on the out-of-bounds decision awarded Indy.
So the call on the floor was out of bounds off of the Knicks after the block by Precious Achiuwa. We're looking at it again on Garden Vision.
Looks like it slips out of Halliburton's hand before Precious can even block it.
It looks like Achiuwa never made contact with it. Which I think he would sacrifice a block shot in the box score for possession here. So that's what they're looking at. You know, such a quick timeout and definitive challenge call from Tom Thibodeau, and a name we've mentioned several times during this playoff run, Scott King, one of the Knicks assistant coaches, who's in charge of determining whether or not they should challenge a call on the floor. It seems like they saw something pretty quickly.
Replay has determined that Halliburton touched the ball last. Therefore, it is a successful challenge. The ball will be awarded to New York on the baseline. The clock is good. It's the second timeout, so they did not receive an additional timeout. However, they have an additional coach's challenge. Reset the shot clock to 24.
That wasn't the second timeout. We've already had 2 timeouts this quarter, so the Knicks should get that timeout back.
Mark Davis misspoke.
Now the officials are having a conversation. On the scoreboard here, it says the Knicks have 3 timeouts remaining. But we've already had our mandatory 2 timeouts of the quarter. Either way, the Knicks and the Pacers each have exactly 1 challenge remaining, and they just did put that 4th timeout back on the board for the Knicks. So Mark Davis was incorrect with what he said. They have corrected it. Knicks have 4 timeouts remaining and 1 challenge. 2:20 to go in the second. Knicks down by 19. Brunson bounce pass left wing for Hart. Brunson gets it back. Pull-up baseline jumper. Can't get the roll. Pacers all over the board. Siakam grabs it and gets it back from Halliburton. Brings it up himself, drives right at Burks on the left side. Backing his way in on the block. Turns. Fallback jumper is good. And the lead is back up to 21. Here's Hart sprinting into the front court. He's cut off by 2 Pacers. Dribbling with the right hand on the left side. Brunson trying to pop free. Brunson's 3 for 11 here in this first half. Stops and is fouled by Shepard on the floater. So with 1:48 to go in the second, Brunson will go back to the line.
I know game to game we've heard coaches and players talk about each being a different entity, but gosh, this is, unfortunately for the Knicks, very reminiscent of what we saw in Game 6. Pascal Siakam, practically automatic. He's 6 of 8 from the field tonight. Tyrese Halliburton, 6 of 9 from the field tonight. And the Pacers' offense has just been an absolute buzzsaw, and the Knicks, unfortunately, from 3, shooting less than 30%.
Brunson's first free throw is no good. Now, you mentioned the Knicks' free throw shooting earlier. During the playoffs, 74.5% from the line, 3rd worst among the 16 teams in the postseason.
The fans here trying to encourage Jalen Brunson after missing that first one. He's displaying some signs of frustration that you're not accustomed to seeing from him.
Second one is good. Knicks down by 20. 1:45 to go in the first half. Halliburton drives, and it's stolen by Burks. In space, Burks brings it into the front court. Cut off by Nembhard on the right wing. Burks, spin move on the baseline. Finds a cutting Achiuwa. 1 dribble, goes up, and slams it down.
What a great pass by Alec Burks. I thought he was going to attempt to dunk that himself. And Precious Achiuwa leaving no room for error by getting to the rim for a dunk on the finish.
The Knicks bench has been huge here with 20 points. High post pass, Turner sends it into the corner for Siakam. A good closeout by Hart. Siakam on the right side. Left-handed dribble. Backing in on a reaching Hart. Turns, flips it up. Ball doesn't go in, but he is fouled on the attempt by Josh Hart. That'll be his second.
Josh Hart, fortunate that that's not a three-point play, and he's gambling, reaching across the top side of Pascal Siakam on this play with his right arm. We saw Siakam in Game 6 spin right off of that contact toward the baseline, which was what he would have had the opportunity to do there.
Hart giving up at least 4 inches in height to Pascal Siakam. OG Anunoby started the game, played the first 5 minutes. We haven't seen him since Anunoby went down in the third quarter of game number 2. Hart has drawn the primary defensive assignment against Siakam, who hits the first.
I know it's sort of pointless to do this exercise to a degree, but a guy sitting at the end of the bench supporting his teammates and Julius Randle, you just think about how different this matchup is if Pascal Siakam has to deal with him and vice versa.
It's funny you say that at this moment because I just noticed him sitting there as well. We're talking about Anunoby, obviously, because he's played in this series, but Julius Randle hasn't played since January 27th. Siakam hits the second. Knicks trail by 20. Final minute of the second quarter. See if they can cut into this deficit before halftime. Brunson working from the left side against Shepard. Backing his way in. Turner's there with a double team. Floats it up and in, plus the foul.
Every little bit counts. Jalen Brunson sticking with it. This team's going to have to go into halftime. Hopefully they can get another score and stop, if not 2, in the next 53.7. They got to go into halftime, get off their feet. All of the recovery, instant routines, whatever you can do at halftime, and get ready for an all-out battle in the second half.
Brunson looking to finish the three-point play, and he does. So it's 70-53.
At this point, you'll take 15 if you can get to it going into halftime.
45 seconds to go in the second. Nembhard, side-to-side dribble on the Knicks logo. Goes left side, picked up by DiVincenzo on a switch. Siakam's 3, hits the front of the rim, bounces around, and rebounded by Hart. There's a 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Hart kicks it out to Brunson. Around to DiVincenzo, fakes the 3, drives the lane, floats it up and in. Knicks down by 15 with 25 seconds to go.
You got to defend. Dante DiVincenzo and Tyrese Halliburton exchanging some words, but I feel like DiVincenzo is talking more to himself than the opponent.
1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Garden crowd rises to its feet. 10 seconds to shoot. Siakam dribbling against Achua. Drives, kicks it into the corner, and it's against the Pacers. It's a turnover against the Indiana Pacers. They travel against Siakam.
They called a charge against Siakam.
A charge against Pascal Siakam. Good defense by Precious Achua with 7.8 seconds to go in the second.
Looks like head coach Tom Thibodeau will now deploy his shooters. Deuce McBride is now joining this lineup in exchange for Precious Achua with 7.8 on the shot clock.
So the Knicks going extremely small here. Who would you consider the center? Josh Hart?
Yeah, got to. But it's Hart and 4 shooters.
Alec Burks will inbound in the backcourt. 7.8 seconds to go. Shot clock is off. Knicks down by 15. Here comes Brunson into the front court. All the way to the basket. Blocked by Siakam. Rebounded by Nembhard. And the first half comes to an end.
The Knicks are upset. A couple of Knicks. Assistant coach Rick Brunson. Obviously Jalen Brunson. I think there were some folks wondering if this would have been a goaltend. But man, what a rush of energy. Ooh, is it a goaltend?
Well, he made contact with the basketball before it hit the backboard.
Got it.
Now, the other question is, was it on its way up or down? It appeared that it was still on its way up. So, regardless, it's an unchallengeable play, and the first half, it does come to an end.
I'll be honest, though, partner, that's not... It's a solid look, but I think the point of the 4 shooters that are out there is you collapse the defense and space the floor a bit. I'd have to go back and look at it to see if there was a clean opportunity to penetrate and spray to one of your shooters, but that's a tough way for the half to end when you felt like you had built some momentum in the last 53 seconds.
Well, the Knicks have some work to do if they want to keep their season alive beyond this afternoon. They have trailed by as many as 22 points. The halftime deficit right now is 15. At halftime of Game 7, the Pacers lead the Knicks 70-55. Dan Grossa takes you through halftime. That's coming up next as New York Knicks, ESPN New York, and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA.
NBA fans, looking for infusion care that puts you first? ThriveWell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, ThriveWell offers private, state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. Pharmacy. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a ThriveWell location near you. Find out more at ThriveWellInfusion.com. ThriveWell, saving lives, drip by drip.
If you ever volunteer to coach, mentor, tutor, or just be a positive role model to kids and young people, why not make a career of it? Become a youth development specialist where you will supervise and support young people in detention. It's a union job with a $51,000 starting salary, and you'll be making a positive impact on the lives of young New Yorkers. NYC residency not required. Apply to become a youth development specialist today at nyc.gov/YDS. That is nyc.gov/YDS.
The NBA playoffs are here, and the New York Knicks are in. It's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an authorized betting partner of the NBA. Download the BetMGM app and make every playoff game, every vital play mean more than ever. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Madison Square Garden and the New York Knicks. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years or older to wager and physically present in New York or New Jersey only. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, it all started on a rainy Sunday, and I was enjoying a peaceful drive before the arrival of the in-laws when...
It's a disaster. That sneaky dog of yours got up on the counter and gobbled up the cake.
So I can pick up...
It's gotta be from the place off Highway 9. Hurry, they're almost here.
Luckily, my Nissan Altima was built to handle the unexpected. With available intelligent all-wheel drive, I was able to save the day without a slip-up.
You made it.
Piece of cake.
Drive the Nissan Altima. Now get a low $209 per month lease for 36 months on the 2024 Nissan Altima. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Well-qualified lessees 2024 Altima SD front-wheel drive. $4049 initial payment excludes tax, title, license, and $695 acquisition fee. Includes $625 manufacturer's rebate applied to $209 per month lease. Disposition fee due at lease end. Take from new dealer stock. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details. N6324. New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary healthcare when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
This is the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. Now, here's Dan Graca.
And we welcome into the New York Knicks halftime report, and this Knicks halftime report is brought to you by Spectrum. Dan Graca with you. Well, if the Knicks do want to head to the Eastern Conference Finals, they're going to have to turn this game around in the second half. They trail the Pacers 70-55 after 2 quarters of play, and it's time now for the first half spotlight, which is brought to you by BetMGM. And give the Pacers full credit. They have come out in this first half and just barely have missed any shots. They're shooting 76% from the field, including 8 of 12 from three-point range. They built up that first half lead to as much as 22 points. Knicks get a little bit of a spurt there to close the first half to cut it to 15, but they still have a lot of work to do after halftime. Tyrese Halliburton leading all scorers with 16 points. He's connected on 4 3-pointers. Pascal Siakam picking up right where he's left off in this series. He's got 15 points. As far as the Knicks are concerned, Alec Burks fueling this squad with 14 points off the bench on 5 of 6 shooting. Dante DiVincenzo has 14 points. He's made 3 threes. Jalen Brunson has 12, but Indiana doing a real solid job on him on the defensive end once again, as Jalen just 4 of 13 in that opening half. Should mention, of course, the Knicks did get the services returned of OG Anunoby and Josh Hart for this game today. Now, OG started the game, actually made his first 2 shots, including a 3-pointer for 5 points, and departed the game after 5 minutes, and we have not seen him since. No official word on his status for the remainder of this game. Josh Hart has played 21 minutes in that first half, but he's got 4 points to go with 4 rebounds. But essentially, just Indiana's prowess offensively has been the difference in this game thus far. As we said, shooting the ball 76% from the field, and they have themselves a 15-point lead at halftime. That was your first half spotlight presented by BetMGM. Get the BetMGM app today. Now you're winning with the king of sportsbooks. Please bet responsibly. Time now to check out the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday around the NBA playoffs. One other game, and it is a best-of-7 Game 7 in the Western Conference, as the winner will move on to face the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. It'll be the Minnesota Timberwolves visiting the Denver Nuggets coming up a little bit later on tonight at 8 p.m. Now, the first 4 games of the series, all won by the road team. The last 2 won by the home team. Minnesota, of course, had a 45-point rout of the Denver Nuggets in their Game 6 victory. So that is the only other game on the NBA scoreboard coming up later today. Hey, stick with MSG for pre- and post-game coverage for every game that the Knicks play. You can watch on MSG or stream it for free on MSG Plus with an eligible TV subscription. Time now for this date in New York Knicks history. And on May the 19th, 1986, Patrick Ewing named NBA Rookie of the Year after averaging 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 2.06 blocks over 35 and a half minutes in 50 games played in his freshman season. And then fast forward 9 years after that, on May the 19th, 1995, that was when the Knicks went into a hostile Market Square Arena and left with a 92-82 victory, forcing a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Knicks defense held the Pacers to 35% shooting. Of course, a far cry from that this afternoon. Indiana shooting 76% in that opening half, and they have a 15-point lead at 70-55. Meantime, before this afternoon's game, Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle met with the media, and in a series that up until this point featured the home team winning each of the first 6 games, is there any way to put a finger on all the ebbs and flows that we have seen thus far?
You go into it understanding that, in a 7-game series, it's very likely that each game will have quite a different character, because there are going to be a lot of adjustments made game to game and in game. And, you got to try to prepare for as much of it as you can beforehand, but invariably there are always variations that happen. And so, look, we've played almost 100 games. So the Knicks, we know our team pretty well. Tibbs knows his team pretty well. And so, other than who's playing, there aren't a ton of secrets at this point. It's really come down to possession of the ball in many ways.
And that is Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. So the home court advantage, you think, would come in handy in a game like this, with the home team having the edge thus far in this series. And the Knicks played out the regular season as such, winning 50 games, getting the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference for this opportunity, something Jalen Brunson talked about the other night.
Yeah, it's definitely something we fought for, and to have home court advantage for as long as we can throughout the playoffs. I'm just happy that our team has the mindset that we do, but it's not given just because it's at home. We're going to go out there and play and earn it. They're going to be ready, and we're going to be ready as well.
Dante DiVincenzo with 14 first-half points says this is why they fought for that number 2 seed, to have a game like this at Madison Square Garden.
I think, speaking of the home court is, you look back at the end of the season. This is the exact reason why we played the last couple games to get that 2 seed. This is the exact reason. We're going home, Game 7. Obviously, we know the Garden's going to be rocking, and, we're trying to handle business.
And Isaiah Hartenstein, another player that can echo those thoughts, wanting the Garden faithful to be able to fuel them to a Game 7 victory.
Yeah, it's important. The Garden is the Garden. Get a little bit of extra energy out there, and the fans are amazing. So we just have to come in, step up, and make the right plays and play with the right effort, and then kind of go from there.
That is Isaiah Hartenstein. Our halftime score 70-55 with the Pacers on top of the New York Knicks. Now it's time for the Knicks Keys to the Half, brought to you by Open Road Auto Group. Defensively, going to have to lock down a little bit more, certainly, in the first 2 quarters, as Indiana really shooting at a crazy clip, 76%, including 8 of 12 from 3. The rebounding department, also a big factor so far in the first 6 games. The team that won rebounding battle has won each and all of the first 6 games. Indiana right now out rebounding the Knicks in that department 15-10. You can't even necessarily point to second chance opportunities that have played a big difference as well. But Indiana doing a phenomenal job sharing the basketball. 19 assists on 29 made free throws, as are the Knicks in that department too. 15 helpers on 20 made field goals. Seeing if they could get a little more of that in the second half, but defensively is where this game is going to be won in half number 2 for this team. And still a lot of time left. Last night, if you remember, the Oklahoma City Thunder had a 17-point lead.
midway through the third quarter in Dallas, only to see it squandered and Dallas come back to win the game. Knicks hoping history can repeat itself coming up this afternoon. And that was the Knicks Keys to the Half, brought to you by Open Road Auto Group. Open Road Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi offer excellent pricing and first-class experience. Choose Open Road for your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Visit us online at openroad.com. Let us pause 10 seconds and allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is your radio home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 98.7 ESPN, WEPN FM, New York.
And that was the New York Knicks halftime report, brought to you by Spectrum. Get Spectrum One, fast and reliable internet for $39.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi and a free unlimited mobile line, both free for 12 months. Restrictions apply. Visit Spectrum.com for details. I will talk to you again in the post-game show, but coming up next, we will send it back to Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. They've got half number 2 for you. Knicks trying to come from behind. They trail the Pacers 70-55. And you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This has been the Spectrum New York Knicks halftime show. The second half is coming right up.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS. Getting engaged will be one of the most exciting times of your life, and the winning team at London Jewelers is there to help you pop the question. The cutting-edge technology and trained professionals at London Jewelers can help you select a ring from their 2 by London collection or design the absolute perfect ring at any budget. So whether you're starting out or starting over, let the engagement experts at London Jewelers help you. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 7 locations, including Americana Manhasset and the Mall at Short Hills.
The NBA playoffs are here, and we all know playoff mode is a thing. Listen to the evidence. They're going wild. Playoff players are lighting up the court. Even your speakers are in playoff mode. Okay, we'll take it down a notch, but just a notch, because this is to turn it up to 11 NBA playoffs. Playoff mode is clearly a thing. The NBA playoffs presented by Google Pixel continue on ABC, ESPN, and TNT.
Well, I talk for a living, and whether I'm in the studio or at the ballpark, I'm sure to have a cup of Bigelow tea by my side. There's nothing like fueling my voice, body, and soul with only the finest tea. Bigelow Earl Grey. This delightful blend of black tea and real bergamot oil is not your ordinary tea. It's a broadcaster's dream come true. Keeps me energized and focused throughout the broadcast, ensuring I deliver nothing but the best for my loyal listeners. So join the millions of fans that make Bigelow tea number 1 in New York. Bigelow tea, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees.
Back here at the Garden as we get set for the start of the second half, and it's now or never for the New York Knickerbockers. They trailed the Indiana Pacers 70-55 in this game number 7. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. As we look at the first half, Monica, you look at the 70 points scored by the Pacers. What's the biggest reason for that? You've got to look at the 76% of their field goal attempts they were able to hit.
I mean, they have been having a shooter's dream type of performance. I don't know that there's a shot that they have not liked, for one, in terms of getting quality looks. And then when you look at that percentage, they made most of them. And so you got to tip the cap to them. Now, on the flip side of that, there's lots of room for this Knicks defense to improve. And candidly, partner, if you break down the things that you'd like to see in terms of adjustments, if the Knicks can't find their way defensively, then they've got to be able to score more effectively than what they've been able to do, shooting just 28.6% from the three-point line. And on an unusual day, 46% overall from the field wouldn't be bad. But you have to make it more difficult for these Pacers somehow, some way.
The second half is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the brand new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. OG Anunoby started the game, played the first 5 minutes, scored 5 points. We haven't seen him since. Deuce McBride starts the second half in his place. No official word from the Knicks, but no Anunoby on the floor right now.
Unofficially, all signs indicate that we may have seen the best of him.
They certainly do. Knicks down by 15 as they press on. They have all season long. Pacers ball. Halliburton driving from the right side. Cross-court pass Siakam. Touch pass. They move it around the perimeter. Neesmith has it. 1 second to shoot. Neesmith didn't get it off in time. So the Knicks force a shot clock violation to begin the third quarter.
Excellent defense to start out. Now, as much as the Knicks need to turn it up on the defensive end, it certainly would not hurt, and it would make this Garden crowd happy if this Pacers squad were to get a little bit excited in terms of how they played in the first half versus the second.
Hartenstein has it top of the arc, hands the ball to Brunson, who brings it left-hand side with the dribble. Brunson behind the back, spin move in the paint, stops his dribble, finds DiVincenzo, right side three, off the side of the rim. Hart, the offensive rebound, in traffic. Underneath the basket, finds the cutting DiVincenzo, who's bottled up, hands the ball to McBride. His foul line jumper is also off the mark. A good box out and rebound for Miles Turner. Full court pass, left side for Neesmith, looks to drive into Brunson, and that's an offensive foul.
Pretty good sequence there for the Knicks. Making something out of nothing. You like the offensive rebounding opportunities. Disappointed that they can't quite take advantage, though.
So a minute gone by. Neither team has scored. Knicks with the ball. Still trailing by 15 points. Here's Hart. Hands the ball back to Brunson on the left wing. He goes to work on Neesmith. Backing his way in the paint, gets free, and it's blocked out of bounds by Turner coming from the weak side.
Miles Turner has just been so free to come and do that. He's done that twice and maybe 3 times now versus Jalen Brunson. I'm not quite sure how you can occupy him because that's what he does as a shot blocker. He lurks and comes to thwart those attempts.
8 seconds to shoot. Off the inbound, Brunson has it back, in and out. Dribble to the basket, can't get the roll. Hartenstein, the offensive rebound. Out to Brunson in the left corner. New shot clock for the Knicks, which is down to 10. Brunson drives on Siakam. Has him behind his back. Flips it to Hartenstein. His floater is an air ball. Rebound fought for and tied up between Hartenstein and Siakam. We'll have a jump ball. 2.4 seconds to go on the shot clock for the Knicks.
A lot of noticeable increase in energy to start this second half from the Knicks. They're mixing it up. They're on the glass. They're creating second chance opportunities. They're causing jump balls, but it just hasn't necessarily impacted the scoring column just yet.
A couple makeable shots for Brunson. Yeah. One there for Hartenstein that were all off the mark. Now James Capers comes into the circle to position DiVincenzo and Neesmith. Remember, if the Knicks win the tip, they have 2.4 seconds to shoot. Brunson has it underneath. Layup is blocked by Siakam, and it's a goaltend. Count the basket.
Man, Jalen Brunson was pretty emphatic on that one, and it was pretty clear because Siakam is messing with the rim on this one, and he's looking at his bench asking them to challenge, which would surprise me if they go for that.
They are not going to challenge, it appears. So the Knicks within 13 now with 10:22 to go in the third quarter. Pacers had 70 at the half. Here's Siakam, crossover dribble, cut off by DiVincenzo. Has it on the left side. Up top pass for Halliburton. Gets free, left side three-pointer, no good. Long rebound, grabbed by McBride. Here come the Knicks. McBride with the dribble brings it to the left wing. Now baseline, scoops it up and in, and the Knicks are back within 11. Timeout, Indiana.
All right, the energy from the Knicks is starting to impact the right places in terms of the deficit being down to 11, which, partner, I can't tell you the last time it was this close.
The lead has been as many as 22 points. That was in the second quarter. Knicks have cut it in half with 10:01 to play here in the third. Pacers 70 and the Knicks 59 in Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. And New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
When Mercedes-Benz owners choose Open Road of Bridgewater, they choose the best of the best, because at Open Road Bridgewater, you can be sure to find excellent service, excellent pricing, and first-class experience. And that's why Mercedes-Benz named them the best of the best. They're honored to receive this prestigious award. Choose the best of the best. Choose Open Road of Bridgewater on Route 22 East, or visit them online at openroadmercedesbenz.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
I'm a New Yorker. I want to contribute to public safety.
I want a 6-figure salary.
I want to get paid after I retire.
I want to take my kids on vacation.
New York City Department of Correction Officer jobs are available now for strong, brave, bold New Yorkers with problem-solving and communication skills. Most earn more than $85,000 in their first year. Register today. Search the words City Exams on your phone, click, then scroll to Correction Officer.
Want to serve with a purpose? Take the test. Join Discover New York City Corrections. Take the test.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Back here at Madison Square Garden, 10:01 to go in the third quarter. Knicks trail the Pacers 70-59. Now, Monica, on Friday night, the Knicks came out of the locker room and cut a double-digit Pacers lead to 5. In that Game 6, Rick Carlisle also called an early timeout in the third quarter. It worked as the game flipped in favor of the Pacers. We'll see how both teams react this time around.
Yeah, the big thing that I think played into the Pacers' favor, and rightfully so, is how good they have been at home. On Friday, they were on their home turf, and that timeout allowed them to regroup. But they've gone 1-5 on the road this postseason, and so we'll see which team has the momentum after this push here in the Garden.
This crowd has been desperate to bust out all afternoon.
So, absolutely right. You could not have said that better. These folks are waiting for a reason to get loud.
Pacers ball. Just about 2 minutes gone by here in the third. Full court pressure being shown by the Knicks. McBride pestering Nembhard as he brings it across the timeline. Nembhard with the right-handed dribble. Right wing pass for Nesmith. Nesmith with Brunson on his back, gives to Turner just inside midcourt. Shot clock already down to 8. Turner trying to dribble out of trouble, gives to Siakam. Drives at Hartenstein, gets to the rim, comes up short. DiVincenzo the rebound. Here come the Knicks. DiVincenzo has it center of the court, fires away, and he knocks it down. And the Knicks are down by 8.
All right, game on. You got to continue to lean on your defense.
Halliburton drives around DiVincenzo in the paint. His pass deflected, knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Indiana. 15 seconds to shoot.
You got to stay locked in on defense. Every possession demands this level of defense and focus from these New York Knicks.
9:22 to go in the third, 70-62. Knicks have scored the first 7 points of the third quarter. Inbound to Nesmith, right wing. Halliburton comes to get it. DiVincenzo chases him. Shot clock is at 8. High post pass, Siakam takes a peek at the clock, drives, kicks it out. Halliburton left open. His three-pointer is good.
It's a big-time response by Tyrese Halliburton. But again, the Knicks having to fight through those screens because that look is, I'm sure, what will be statistically considered open.
5th three-pointer for Tyrese Halliburton. Knicks trail by 11. Brunson, top of the arc, steps back, tries to answer, and he does, knocking down his own three. 73-65. Pacers quickly into the front court. 8:45 to go in the third. Halliburton, guarded by DiVincenzo, brings it left wing. Top of the arc pass, Siakam on the right wing, Nembhard. Right back to Siakam. Lob pass down low. Turner left open. Hart grabs onto his arm and fouls him on the floor.
That's a good read by Josh Hart in terms of seeing where the Pacers were looking. And you heard me say over and over, partner, I will live with fouls if you're not giving up layups.
Josh Hart did exactly that. His second foul. The first against the Knicks. Josh Hart's third foul, and it's the Knicks' first of the quarter. Inbound pass to Siakam between the circles. Dribbles to the left side, hands it to Nembhard. Nembhard guarded by McBride. Back to Siakam, top of the key, right wing. Halliburton tries the other side. That one's no good off the back of the rim. Rebound, though, grabbed by Nesmith and saved out to Nembhard. New shot clock for the Pacers. Lob pass down low. Siakam, one dribble to the basket, lays it up, no good. Hartenstein the rebound, an outlet pass to DiVincenzo. Here come the Knicks, the ball and down by 8. Cross court, Hart, down the lane, reverse layup is good, and it's a 6-point game.
It's still about the defensive effort.
Here's Nembhard in the front court, cut off by DiVincenzo. Now he slips through. His reverse layup is good, and it's 75-67.
The Pacers guards are so slippery, they get into the inside shoulder of the Knicks defense.
That was a nifty move by Andrew Nembhard. McBride straight on 3, off the back of the rim. Hartenstein has the rebound knocked out of his hands. It'll stay with the Knicks. 7:43 to go in the third. Knicks down by 8. Shot clock at 14 seconds. Inbound to Brunson. Crossover dribble, drives at Nembhard. Spins, tries to step through, finds Hart in the paint. Hart dribbles out of trouble into the corner. 3 seconds to shoot, so Hart's got to fire a 3. No good off the front of the rim. Nesmith comes on for the rebound. Front court pass, Halliburton lobs it down low for Siakam, who's matched up with Brunson on a switch. Now Hartenstein picks up Siakam as he passes it out to Halliburton up top. Halliburton looking to drive on DiVincenzo, slips the pass to Siakam. On the right block, and he throws it into the paint where Turner is fouled from behind by Jalen Brunson.
I thought Siakam came very, very close to traveling when Josh Hart met him when he got that pass off that pick and roll.
So that's the second team foul against the Knicks. 7:12 to go in the third, 75-67. Nembhard inbounds, front court, left side to Turner. Hart all the way up on Turner. He's got to dribble with the right hand. Doesn't often do that. Turner picks it up and gives it off to Siakam. Down to 6 seconds to shoot. Siakam working from the top. Stops his dribble. Left side pass. Nesmith, 1 second to shoot. Foul line jumper is good.
It's a big response by the second-year guard in Aaron Nesmith.
77-67. 6:50 to go. Third quarter. Brunson working from the right side. Right-handed dribble. Fakes the handoff to DiVincenzo. Now DiVincenzo fires a 3. It's good. A step behind the three-point line. Knicks down by 7. Dante DiVincenzo heating up here in the third.
I almost thought he had too much time to play with.
Halliburton stops his dribble at the foul line, kicks it into the right corner for Siakam. Now the right block, Turner. Backing in against Hart. Spins one way, loses the handle. Out of bounds. Knicks ball.
Here we go. That defense starting to wake up.
Nearly midway through the third quarter, the Pacers have scored 7 points here in the third. They scored 70 in the first. Brunson, left side of the key, knocked out of his hands and out of bounds, off of the Pacers with 12 seconds to shoot. TJ McConnell checks back into the game. We'll see who Rick Carlisle summons to the bench. It's Andrew Nembhard. So McConnell walks right over to match up with Jalen Brunson. DiVincenzo inbounds on the baseline. 12 seconds to shoot. 6:13 to go in the third quarter. Knicks down by 7. Brunson pops free, left wing. Brings it towards the top of the key. Right corner. McBride drives. Cross-court pass is picked off by Nesmith. Nesmith tries to dribble out of trouble and does. Here comes Siakam. Bounce pass. Left baseline for Halliburton. Takes it back out. Turner. Open 3 is good.
I'm not sure what Deuce McBride was doing on that decision there. He's able to hit shots. His shot making has been important in this run. I'm not sure why he settled for that cross-court pass that ultimately was a turnover.
It looked like he had an open look at a 3 before that. Now McBride is 0 for 4 from downtown today. Knicks trail by 10, 5:38 to go. Brunson has his pocket picked by McConnell. Ahead to Halliburton, lays it up and in. Timeout, Knicks.
All right. Did a good job of getting this thing to a manageable place at 10, but you can't have brain farts here as late. That's back-to-back turnovers that have let this thing balloon out to 12.
A moment ago, the Knicks had the ball trailing by 7. Now it is a 12-point deficit. Still plenty of time here at Madison Square Garden as the Knicks call timeout. 5:33 to go in the third quarter, and the Pacers lead the Knicks 82-70. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event, so give your friends something to look at, like a B&B with an ocean view, an endless field of wildflowers, or a sunset that needs no filter. Make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV or powerful sedan. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Sale applies to purchase of specially tagged 2024 vehicles only. Quantities are limited. Must take delivery by 7/8/24.
Knicks fans, when deciding to take a charter bus, there's only one choice. That's Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Best Trails and Travel has the highest level of charter bus service in New York City and has been servicing New York's leading corporations, professional sports teams, and private individuals for over 25 years. They offer premium customer service and the newest fleet of buses in the industry. Whether you're traveling with family, friends, or colleagues, Best Trails and Travel guarantees you the ultimate travel experience. Visit them at besttrailstravel.com or call them at 212-206-6974.
NBA fans looking for infusion care that puts you first? ThriveWell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, ThriveWell offers private, state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a ThriveWell location near you. Find out more at ThriveWellInfusion.com. ThriveWell, saving lives, drip by drip.
Get a double-digit bonus exclusively for Knicks fans from Food Bazaar Supermarket. Take $10 off your order of $50 or more when you shop online at shop.foodbazaar.com. Plus, your first delivery is free. Go to shop.foodbazaar.com and use promo code FOODSAVE10 for the largest selection of international foods and all-star lineup of the freshest meat, seafood, and produce. And $10 off your first order of $50. Use promo code FOODSAVE10 at shop.foodbazaar.com.
And we're back here at the Garden. 5:33 to go in the third quarter. Knicks now trailing the Pacers 82-70. Monica, in this third quarter, Knicks have gotten as close as 6. But as you mentioned going into the break, back-to-back turnovers have led to back-to-back Pacers baskets and once again a 12-point lead.
Cutting into a deficit, especially in a Game 7 with a Pacers team that still is shooting 72% from the field, is a very delicate and precise exercise. There is no room for error on the part of the Knicks, and those last two turnovers, particularly for this group, were basically assists as they go down on the other end and score. And so if the Knicks can get back to that defense of the first 4 minutes and to the ball handling of the first 3.5 minutes where they were not creating self-inflicted errors, then they can cut this thing back to double digits and perhaps garner a lead by the end of this third quarter.
For the most part today, the Knicks have done an excellent job taking care of the basketball. They've only turned it over 4 times. By comparison, the Pacers have 10 turnovers already. Knicks ball, full court pressure for Indiana. McBride having trouble getting it inbounds, and that's a 5-second violation.
Well, that's a turnover. That's not what we... Well, at least this one is not a live ball turnover if you want to find some silver lining. I'm not sure why Deuce McBride is inbounding the ball. You need him as a ball handler.
Well, now the Pacers will get it.
Right, unless the plan was for him to inbound the ball and get it right back.
Pacers get it on the baseline. Obi Toppin in the game finds Neesmith top of the arc. Drives against Brunson. Layup is good. 7 straight for the Pacers. The lead is back up to 14. Now McBride has some space to get it across the timeline. On the left side of the court, met by Halliburton. McBride, right side pass, DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo on the right side finds Brunson near the right baseline. McConnell closes out on him. Brunson backing his way down on the right side. Finds Hart left wing. Shot clock down to 5. Hart backing in on Halliburton. Throws it up over him. Can't get the roll, but there's a foul against Tyrese Halliburton.
There's a couple of times now, and I get it. You're not going to become somebody new, but there were a couple of times just in this last possession where I thought the Knicks should have gone full steam ahead. Deuce McBride is on the left side of the floor with Tyrese Halliburton in front of him.
Josh Hart looking to snap this 7-0 Pacers run. First free throw is up and good. Knicks have done a good job getting to the line today. 12 out of 14 from the foul line. Pacers have only attempted 5 free throws.
Jalen Brunson just went over to the Knicks bench and had a few words with assistant coach Rick Brunson, who's also his dad.
And chief motivator.
There you go.
Both free throws good for Josh Hart. 84-72. Knicks down by 12. 5 minutes to go in the third. McConnell high post pass. Turner hands it to Halliburton. Halliburton from the foul line into the left corner. Toppin fakes the three, guarded by Hart closely. Toppin up top, his pass deflected into the backcourt. Hartenstein chasing it down in the corner, gets there, tries to save it, but it's taken by Neesmith. Shot clock did not reset. 1 second to go. McConnell has to fire it up, hits the front of the rim. It's tapped up by Toppin, no good. Toppin tries to grab Josh Hart from the floor. Play continues. Hart bounce pass inside. McBride's layup is good.
So many things on that possession, but the Knicks ultimately are able to score.
And down by 10. 4:20 to go in the third quarter. Halliburton turns the corner, down the lane, into the corner, pass for Toppin. Right wing, Neesmith. Couple dribbles, pull-up jumper is good. Aaron Neesmith's done that a couple times this quarter.
Yeah, he's been terrific.
And now a turnover inside. McConnell finds a cutting Neesmith, who is fouled, and the basket is good as T.J. McConnell stole the inbound, and the Pacers are up by 14 with a chance at a three-point play.
I'm going to be honest, I looked down at the box score to see what Aaron Neesmith was shooting from the field. What happened?
McConnell stepped in front of the inbound pass and stole it in a quick feed to a cutting Aaron Neesmith with 4:06 to go here in the third quarter. So that's 2 errant inbounds for the Knicks that have been very costly here in the third. Knicks were down by 15 at the half. They cut it to 6. Alec Burks is back in for Brunson.
Brunson just went back to the locker room, which is what I feared when he went over to the bench, that something maybe wasn't right with him physically.
Neesmith hits the free throw. The Pacers have their 15-point lead back. McBride dribbles in and out of traffic down the lane, blocked by Turner forcefully against the backboard. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Knicks.
McBride was going for a highlight play. Unfortunately, that ball bounces off of the Pacers.
So anxious moments here, Monica. The Knicks went on that run a few minutes ago. The Pacers have stabilized things. Knicks trailing by 15 points. Their all-star point guard in the locker room right now. And now he's re-emerging, heading back to the Knicks bench. Burks inbounds on the left wing to McBride. McBride guarded by McConnell around a Hartenstein screen. McBride dribbles right wing. Tries to step back. Now he steps through. 2 seconds to shoot. Hart has to fire a three off the front of the rim. Halliburton the rebound. Halliburton brings it towards the foul line. Now out on the right wing. Turns around, fires a three, knocks it down. And the Knicks trail 92-74.
Man, this offensive performance by the Pacers has got to be one for the history books in terms of how well they're shooting the ball.
They are still shooting above 71% from the field. Hartenstein lobs the pass into the paint for DiVincenzo. Off-balance shot goes over the backboard. It gets wedged in between the shot clock and the top of the backboard, and it's out of bounds off of the Knicks as Brunson returns. Burks goes back to the bench. So the Knicks, a lot of energy coming out of the locker room, cutting a 15-point halftime deficit to 6. And the Pacers have had the response so far, pushing their lead back up to 18. So Burks went to the bench a moment ago. He now comes back out as DiVincenzo goes to the Knicks bench. So Burks is guarding T.J. McConnell. Brings it up left side. Left wing pass for Toppin. Turner between the circles. Gives to McConnell just inside midcourt. McConnell down the lane is tripped from behind by Alec Burks. They're going to say that was on the floor.
Physical play, no ill intention there, even though McConnell does take a nasty little tumble.
Actually, the reach-in foul is against Josh Hart. Burks was the defender behind him. The foul is called on Josh Hart. And Monica, Jalen Brunson is going back to the Knicks locker room as DiVincenzo returns to action with 3:02 to go here in the third, and the Knicks trailing 92-74.
Unfortunately, it sort of feels like it's starting to unravel a little bit for the New York Knicks.
Halliburton inbounds into the corner. McConnell up top. Halliburton drives on DiVincenzo. Kicks it up for Turner. Quick pass in the left corner. McConnell back up top. Halliburton's three is no good off the front of the rim. Top in the offensive rebound. Reverse layup is no good. Out of bounds off of the Knicks. 2:49 to go in the third. Knicks down by 18. Achua wants Tom Thibodeau to challenge that. He only has one challenge remaining, win or lose. He's electing not to use it here. Inbound to Turner up top. Achua guarding him. Turner dribbles towards the right wing. Gives to Toppin. And now back up top, the pass goes to McConnell. 4 seconds to shoot. McConnell lob pass. Toppin catches. Flips it up, no good. But a late whistle and a foul called as Toppin, after missing the shot, ends up on his back. And if that's against Josh Hart, it's going to be his 5th.
Toppin, as we know, an athlete, quick off the ground to get that alley-oop pass from McConnell, even though it was a little bit wide. Josh Hart with his hand in Toppin's stomach, mid-range area, probably not of any real consequence, but you can see the contact.
First free throw is missed by Obi Toppin. Josh Hart has 5 fouls. OG Anunoby started the game, played the first 5 minutes, hasn't returned. Jalen Brunson, at the moment, is back in the Knicks locker room for the second time here in the third quarter. Monica, unfortunately, the Knicks are running out of players.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that for quite a while, and tip of the cap for OG Anunoby for giving it what he could today, but outside of the 5 minutes or 4 minutes in the first quarter, we have not seen him again. And now Jalen Brunson, the last time he went back and forth to the locker room was game 2 here, rather, and we know that he's been working through what was a lower foot injury in that ball game.
Toppin makes the second, splits the pair. 93-74, Pacers lead with 2:33 to go in the third quarter. McBride, Burks, Hart, DiVincenzo, Achua on the floor for the Knicks. Burks around an Achua screen. Burks still driving, floats it up, no good, but he's fouled by Shepard. And at this point, you have to figure that Alec Burks, along with Dante DiVincenzo, those are the two go-to guys out there for the Knicks.
They're the guys that have been able to score the basketball.
Burks had 14 off the bench in the first half. DiVincenzo leads all Knicks scorers with 20. First free throw for Alec Burks is good, giving him 15. 2:23 to go in the third. The Knicks are in the penalty in this quarter. The Pacers, meanwhile, have 2 fouls to give. Burks knocks down both free throws. 93-76 with 2:20 to go. Here's McConnell running the point, brings it left side. Hart gives him some space as McConnell doesn't shoot the 3 ball often. McConnell, one dribble, right wing pass Siakam. McConnell gets it right back. Between the legs dribble, he wants to drive. Pulls up, 12-footer, good. TJ McConnell getting to his spot. Knicks down by 19. Hart towards the top of the arc. Now DiVincenzo fires a right side 3 and knocks it down.
It's a good-looking jump shot from Dante DiVincenzo.
He's got 6 3-pointers on the afternoon. Knicks down by 16. Minute 45 to go in the third. Here's Siakam between the circles. Left wing, pass for Toppin. Toppin brings it back up top. Cross-court feed. Neesmith on the right side. Floats it up and in off the glass. Aaron Neesmith having his best offensive game of the series. He's 7 for 7 with 16 points. Achua gets a step all the way to the basket, can't finish, but it's tapped up and in by Hart.
Great hustle by Josh Hart to clean up the mess, but I like the aggressiveness by Precious Achua because the half-court set has clearly been rough for the Knicks.
97-81. Knicks looking to close the third quarter strong. Siakam high post, kicks it back out to McConnell. Between the legs dribble, now McConnell towards the left elbow. Fall-away jumper is good along the left baseline.
TJ McConnell is 5 of 6 on the night. You talk about a team that's been incredibly efficient all around in the Pacers.
99-81. Final minute of the third. Burks working hard to get himself free of Ben Shepard. Now they're matched up one-on-one. Burks fires a 3 and knocks it down. Puts down by 15.
Man, Alec Burks could not show up any bigger when his team needs it the most. Now, if he could just get some help around him.
Got 19 points in 16 minutes. 35 seconds to go in the third. Siakam, foul line jumper, no good. DiVincenzo the box out of rebound. Knicks looking to push. We've got a 5-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. DiVincenzo left-handed dribble. Neesmith guards him. Shot clock is down to 10. DiVincenzo brings it right wing. Steps back. 3-pointer over Toppin. Got a piece of it. It's picked up by McConnell. 9 seconds to play in the quarter. Shot clock is off. Neesmith drives down the lane, blocks, but it goes right into the hands of Toppin. for an easy lay-in. 1.9 seconds to go. McBride, one dribble, three-quarters court, just short, and the third quarter comes to an end. The Knicks 17 points.
As if that third quarter didn't come with enough blows with Jalen Brunson going back to the bench. Dante DiVincenzo's a little bit gimpy and takes his time getting back over to the bench as well.
So 3 quarters in the books here in game number 7. The Knicks hoping the upcoming quarter is not their final of the season. 101-84. Pacers on top of the Knicks as the fourth quarter is coming up from Madison Square Garden. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
It all started on a rainy Sunday, and I was enjoying a peaceful drive before the arrival of the in-laws when...
It's a disaster. That sneaky dog of yours got up on the counter and gobbled up the cake.
So I can pick up...
It's gotta be from the place off Highway 9. Hurry, they're almost here.
Luckily, my Nissan Altima was built to handle the unexpected. With available intelligent all-wheel drive, I was able to save the day without a slip-up.
Made it!
Piece of cake.
Drive the Nissan Altima. Now get a low $209 per month lease for 36 months on the 2024 Nissan Altima. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Well-qualified lessees 2024 Altima SV front-wheel drive. $40.49 initial payment excludes tax, title, license, and $695 acquisition fee. Includes $625 manufacturer's rebate applied to $209 per month lease. Disposition fee due at lease in. Take from new dealer stock. Call 1-888-858-8319 for offer details. N6324.
The NBA playoffs are here, and the New York Knicks are in. It's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an authorized betting partner of the NBA. Download the BetMGM app and make every playoff game, every vital play mean more than ever. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Madison Square Garden and the New York Knicks. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years or older to wager and physically present in New York or New Jersey only. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sports fans, take your game day snack to a whole new level. Cibao Meat Products Jamoneta Campesino Salami, the MVP of flavor. Whether you're cheering for touchdowns or slam dunks, this Hispanic-style salami is a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Made with the finest ingredients and packed with zesty spices, Jamoneta Campesino Salami delivers a burst of savory goodness in every bite. Score big with Cibao Meat Jamoneta Campesino Salami. Available at your local supermarket. Remember, if you see our logo from the start, put it in your shopping cart. Cibao Meat Products, over half a century of tradition and quality.
Back here at the Garden, we get set for the start of the fourth quarter. And the Knicks trail the Pacers 101-84. Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt to reset things for the Knicks. OG Anunoby played the first 5 minutes and has not returned. Jalen Brunson, last we checked, was back in the Knicks locker room for the second time going back there in the third quarter. And Josh Hart, who's already playing through an abdominal strain, is coming back out onto the floor with 5 personal fouls. I'm not sure how much more you can ask of this Knicks group, Monica, but they've got 1 quarter to make up a 17-point deficit.
The question has been, what do they have left? How will they find a way? And as we start this fourth, the odds are not currently in their favor, but you still have the opportunity to go out and play and just see what happens. You can bet that whoever's on the floor for the Knicks, they're going to leave whatever they have in the tank out there.
McBride, DiVincenzo, Hart, Burks, and Achua start the fourth quarter here for the Knicks. Inbound to Burks. He's guarded by Shepard. Burks brings it into the front court, backing his way in on Shepard. Hart sets him a screen. Burks near the top, fires a three. No good. Offensive rebound. Achua lays it up. No good. But he was fouled. So Precious Achua working the offensive glass. Isaiah Jackson, the Pacers' backup center, commits the foul. That's Jackson's first. So the Knicks inbound front court left side. McBride gets it to Achua, who brings it to the right side with the dribble, looking for DiVincenzo, loses his footing, and is fouled. And that's also against Isaiah Jackson, his second.
You like the aggressiveness by Dante DiVincenzo on that attack.
So 2 quick fouls in the first 18 seconds committed by the Pacers. And they are down to 2 fouls to give here in the fourth quarter. Burks inbounds again, front court left-hand side, bounce pass DiVincenzo Burks gets it back. Around an Achua screen, kicks it out for Hart. Lines up a three, right side. No good, off the back of the rim. Shepard the rebound. It's a good look for Josh Hart. 30 seconds gone by here in the fourth. McConnell, high post. Jackson, lob pass down low for Siakam. Has trouble handling it, saves it out of bounds. It'll go back to the Knicks. McBride wants to inbound it quickly and does. Here's DiVincenzo handling the ball with Brunson not in the game. All the way to the basket, lays it up and is fouled, and I believe that's also going to be against Isaiah Jackson.
Well, this is good for the Knicks in terms of getting to the free throw line finally. The first two fouls from Jackson were considered on the ground.
It is Jackson's third foul of the first 45 seconds of the quarter. His fourth, third in the first 45 seconds of this quarter. First free throw for DiVincenzo is good. Monica, we just saw Rick Brunson, Knicks assistant coach, come out of the locker room and take his seat on the Knicks bench. Hart hits both free throws, 101-86. 3 team fouls already here in the quarter for the Pacers. Shepard right wing back up top for McConnell. McBride guards him. McConnell left-handed dribble drives, gives it into the corner. Siakam dribbles towards the foul line and hands the ball to Nembhard. Nembhard in the paint, kicks it into the corner for Shepard on the left side. Back to Nembhard. His pass deflected and stolen. Here come the Knicks. DiVincenzo, cross-court pass. Burks on the left side to the basket, knocked out of his hands by McConnell and taken by Shepard. It's a 2-on-1 for the Pacers. Jackson fakes the pass, lays it up and in, plus the foul.
That's one of the first decisions I think Alec Burks probably wants back all day. He's been great otherwise. The decision to cut through the lane and attempt a layup, which allows the Pacers defense to get a hand on that basketball. And then on the other end, Isaiah Jackson, crafty with the ball fake, has Precious Achiuwa off balance just enough that he's able to complete a three-point or earn a three-point play.
Foul is against Precious Achiuwa. Isaiah Hartenstein back in. Josh Hart to the Knicks bench. Jackson's free throw is good, finishing the three-point play. It's 104-86. Still 10:45 to go in the fourth here at the Garden. McBride in the front court, pestered by McConnell. Hartenstein, right side, hands to DiVincenzo. His three is good. And it's 104-89. Dante DiVincenzo now with 7 3-pointers. McConnell left wing. He's left open. Now gives to Jackson at the high post. Jackson with his back to the basket. Right side pass Siakam. Couple dribbles. Gives to Shepard. Fakes the three. Gives it back to Siakam on the right wing. He's one-on-one with Achiuwa. Pull-up jumper. Right elbow. Rattles in. 106-89. 10:05 to go in the fourth. Achiuwa front court. Hands to Burks. And now Hartenstein between the circles. 2 minutes gone by in the final period. DiVincenzo pulls up straight on three. It's good. Dante DiVincenzo has that look right now. Knicks are back within 14. Here's a drive by McConnell. Lays it up and in with the left hand, beating the Knicks back down court.
The scoring coming is a great sign for the Knicks, but they've just been unable to come up with any stops tonight.
Here's DiVincenzo, gets the handoff from Burks. DiVincenzo with 8 3-pointers so far this afternoon. He's one-on-one with Nembhard. Hartenstein is screen. DiVincenzo was bumped, loses the ball. It's thrown ahead to Jackson, who's fouled from behind on the reach-in by Deuce McBride. So Dante DiVincenzo tried to dribble through 2 defenders. Did he run into Hartenstein?
It looks like he ran into his own teammate. I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Yeah, he did, and lost the ball. Mm-hmm. Play continued properly, and on the other end, Jackson is at the free throw line. So Isaiah Jackson, 8 points in 6 minutes. Pacers, as a team, still shooting 71% from the field as Jackson hits his first attempt. Monica, the Knicks announcing that Jalen Brunson has a fractured left hand and will miss the remainder of the game.
Wow.
Jackson's second free throw spins out, rebounded by Hartenstein, but he loses the handoff to Burks. It's taken by Shepard. Knicks have to recover here on defense. In the right corner, Shepard passes on the open look. Siakam, bounce pass left wing, Nembhard. Between the legs dribble, slip pass Siakam. Foul line jumper is short. Hartenstein grabs the rebound. Shepard pressuring him from behind. We've got 9 minutes to go here in the fourth. 109-92. Here's Burks from the top of the arc, kicks it out to McBride. Now he wants to drive, spin, pull up, left elbow jumper, no good, off the mark, rebounded by Jackson. Here comes McConnell, drives into the paint, dribbles out to the right wing. McConnell with the left-handed dribble, nice flip pass to Siakam into the right corner. Nembhard's three-pointer is off the heel of the rim. Rebound tapped up, no good. McBride pulls down the rebound in traffic. Quick outlet to DiVincenzo. Weaving in and out of traffic, fakes the three, to the basket, lays it up, no good. Nembhard the rebound, numbers for the Pacers. Siakam from the middle of the court, and Rick Carlisle out on the court with his team in transition to call a timeout.
Not sure what the urgency was for Rick Carlisle, but he's obviously taking every moment he can to continue to teach this Pacers squad. Goodness gracious, the Jalen Brunson news is not what you wanted to hear. And we said this toward the end of the third, that it felt like things were beginning to unravel a bit for the Knicks, and that certainly probably is one of the bigger straws that impact what the Knicks got going on.
8:24 to go in the fourth quarter. Timeout Pacers. They lead here in Game 7, 109-92. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
I like what I like, and I do what I want.
If what you like is playing the loosest slots, getting the most free play, and finding more of your favorite games, all on a spacious upscale gaming floor, then Wind Creek Bethlehem is your kind of fabulous. No matter what fabulous means to you, you'll find it here. Wind Creek Bethlehem. Must be 21 years of age. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
New York Presbyterian gives you the healthcare choices you want, like over 450 locations in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Westchester. Virtual care that lets you connect with us digitally. World-class doctors from Columbia and Weill Cornell Medicine, and Health Matters, an online source for the latest health and wellness topics and tips. Experience extraordinary health care when and where you need it. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian. Restrictions apply.
Hey, John, this is Celeste from Richmond Hill. I want a Kia.
Hey, John, this is Quan from Flushing. I want a Kia. Hey, John, this is David from Jamaica. I want a Kia.
Hi, I'm John Stark. Our All-Star team will always put your needs first, making sure you will always get a slam dunk deal here at John Stark Kia.
Lease a Kia EV6 for $299 a month with zero down payment. $949 due at signing. No security deposit required. 10K miles per year. Excludes tax, title, and MV fees. Expires June 3rd.
John Stark Kia. Stand tall.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Back here at the Garden, this out-of-town scoreboard is brought to you by Best Trails and Travel. This is the first of 2 Game 7s in the NBA. Later tonight in Denver, the defending champion Nuggets on the ropes. Game 7 between the Nuggets and the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, the winner of this game will advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Game 1 of that series will be on Tuesday night in Boston, an 8 p.m. tip. That's the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Best Trails and Travel, New York City's premier charter bus company. Visit them today for the ultimate travel experience at besttrailstravel.com. So just to repeat the injury news from a couple of minutes ago, Knicks announcing that Jalen Brunson has a fractured hand and is out for the remainder of the game. OG Anunoby started the game today and played the first 5 minutes, has not returned to action either. 8:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Knicks down 109-92. Three-pointer left wing is good for Pascal Siakam, and the Knicks trail by 20. Alec Burks and Deuce McBride, along with Dante DiVincenzo, the Knicks backcourt right now. Achua and Hartenstein up front. Josh Hart's on the bench with 5 fouls. Here's McBride. Brings it left side with the dribble, backing in against McConnell. Down to 3 seconds to shoot. McBride off the glass and in from the left block.
It's a really great move by Deuce McBride, but like we've seen throughout today's ballgame, just so much one-on-one heavy pounding of the rock.
112-94. McConnell, left side, on the perimeter. Leaves his feet. Pass deflected by Achua and safe. Here comes Achua. Left wing pass DiVincenzo. Already with 8 3-pointers. Knocked away from behind and recovered by Siakam. 7.5 to play in the fourth. Siakam circles out left wing. Bounce pass. Midcourt to Nembhard. Stops his dribble at the top of the arc. Bounce pass high post goes to Siakam. Siakam right wing McConnell. 8 seconds to shoot. McConnell gets to the left block. Bottled up by McBride. Turns against him a couple of times. Blocked by McBride. And McBride takes it away from Shepard. 7:05 to go. Knicks down by 18. Here's Burks. Pulls up for 3. Right side is good.
Gets it to go. Alec Burks continuing to show the value that he can add. And frankly, the postseason version of Alec Burks is why this team traded for him and more reminiscent of what he looked like when he was in a Knicks jersey a couple of seasons ago.
112-97. Knicks down 15. 6:45 to go. McConnell, top of the arc, gives to Nembhard between the circles. DiVincenzo closes out on him. Nembhard drives against Achua. Reverse layup, no good. Rebound to Alec Burks. Knicks looking to push. Burks, one-on-one with Shepard, around him to the basket, lays it in. Knicks are down by 13 points. Timeout, Indiana.
You love the push, and this team still playing with tremendous heart. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Rick Carlisle has had the advantage in terms of resting his primary scorers in Siakam and Halliburton. He'll now have the chance to put them back in the ball game for the Pacers to continue to push. The Knicks, meanwhile, got to continue to force turnovers and score.
We've got 6:28 to go in the fourth quarter of Game 7, and the Knicks trail the Pacers 112-99. New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues after this timeout.
Have you ever driven across the Whitestone Bridge and wondered who could possibly paint this? The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association. That's who. With our local 806 partners, members of the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association work hard to ensure New York City's bridges, roads, and rails are safe, beautiful, and ready for the future. You've seen our work. The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association partnered with the New York Department of Transportation on the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, applying new coatings seen by thousands of people and captured in selfies every day. That's just one of the many pieces of icons that the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association has helped revitalize. Every day you see subway stops, bridges, highway ramps, and steel structures restored and painted by us. We're the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association, adding a little color to the Big Apple. To learn more about our association and career opportunities, visit nySSPCA.net.
Open Road BMW. Come visit their newly constructed state-of-the-art BMW dealership, conveniently located on Route 1 in Edison, New Jersey. Here you'll find over 7 acres of new and certified pre-owned BMWs ready for immediate delivery. If you need world-class service, their 50 service bays and the convenience of over 100 customer loaner cars are at your service. For an exceptional BMW buying experience in one of the Tri-State's largest BMW facilities, visit OpenRoadBMW.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Your sweet, shareable summer awaits. Head to your local Kia dealer and check out the tech-forward Forte or a capable SUV. A Kia, movement that inspires. Here we are, fourth quarter, 6:28 to go, and the Pacers lead the Knicks 112-99. Indiana head coach Rick Carlisle calling timeout a moment ago and using that opportunity, Monica, as you predicted, to get some of his starters back in the game, most notably Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner.
Those two have just been terrific. Listen, one thing about the Pacers that I will give them through this series, you can see the real-life growth. We mentioned their record on the road, 1-5. They've been the worst playoff team on the road. And as much as I do think a large part of what we're seeing tonight is just the Knicks sort of unraveling from a health standpoint, they have shot the basketball tremendously. I mean, they're on pace to set a new playoff record. The best record in terms of field goal percentage was 67%, and they just recently came below that number. So the Pacers have had a great game. Halliburton and Siakam have answered the call when the bell has tolled the loudest.
Speaking of records, Dante DiVincenzo has set a Knicks playoff record with 8 made three-pointers this afternoon. We've got 6:15 to go. Knicks trail by 13. Nembhard dribbling left wing, turns the corner on McBride, pulls up for a jumper and knocks it down from 10 feet out. 114-99. Andrew Nembhard's last two games of this series have been terrific. He had 15 in Game 6. Got 13 here today. Burks gets a handoff on the left side from Hartenstein, sends it into the right corner for Achua. He drives on top and step-back jumper comes up short. Halliburton the rebound with 5:45 to play. Halliburton cut off by McBride, brings it right wing. Flip pass, Turner, floater is good. Back-to-back buckets for the Pacers coming out of that timeout. Knicks trail by 17 with 5.5 to play. Brunson, done for the game, fractured left hand. McBride gives to DiVincenzo right wing. DiVincenzo, couple dribbles, looking to get himself free for a three-pointer, fires one, and knocks it down. Boy, he's hot today.
It's a great time to be hot. You just wish that the rest of the team could have followed suit or even stayed healthy.
Dante DiVincenzo has 34 points, 9 three-pointers. Halliburton gets all the way to the basket, lays it in, plus the foul on McBride.
With a 30-plus point game performance for DiVincenzo in a Game 7 here at the Garden, he joins the company of Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe, who did it twice.
Walt Frazier, of course, did that in Game 7 of the 1970 NBA Finals, the most historic performance in the history of this franchise. 36 points, 19 assists, and 7 rebounds as the Knicks won their first championship. Halliburton misses the free throw. The rebound is back tapped out to Nembhard. So the Pacers can run some more clock here. 4:50 to go. 118-102. Halliburton, a logo three-pointer. No good off the heel of the rim. Rebound falls into the hands of Burks. Knicks down by 16. Burks, crossover dribble, finds McBride. Left wing three, spins out. Neesmith has the rebound knocked out of his hands, taken by Burks. A pump fake draws the foul against Neesmith with 4:32 to go, and Burks will go to the line. Alec Burks, 24 points as he heads to the free throw line in 24 minutes.
He's been really good in this particular series. And I know that this year we discussed a lot Tibbs traditionally being an 8-man rotation guy, and could that rotation have been extended? We're going to have a lot of time to reflect unless something changes in the next 44 minutes and 32 seconds. I don't really have a problem with the 8-man rotation, and I think people will question, one of the conversations tomorrow will be about the minutes, and could you have avoided wearing these guys out? Hindsight is often 20/20, and I think you can't negate the importance of guys getting rhythm and conditioning for the amount of minutes that they have to play. I don't know if this team is where they are if not for the job that head coach Tom Thibodeau did this year, coaching and getting everything out of everybody that he could and navigating a plethora of injuries.
Both free throws good for Alec Burks. Knicks trail by 14, under 4.5 to play. Burks has 26 points off the bench. Nembhard guarded by McBride. Between the circles, pass goes to Turner. Turns the corner on Hart, lays it up and in at the rim. Hart playing with 5 fouls. Also giving up 7 inches in height to Miles Turner. 120-104. DiVincenzo, between the legs dribble a couple of times, trying to set up Halliburton, and Halliburton fouls him on the floor with 4:03 to play. And that'll put the Knicks in the bonus. And we'll put Dante DiVincenzo at the free throw line. To your point, Monica, you look at some of the injuries that have cost the Knicks personnel during this playoff run. You start on January 27th. Julius Randle, as DiVincenzo misses the free throw, drives baseline, collides with Jaime Jaquez Jr., lands awkwardly. dislocates his shoulder, and he's lost for the remainder of the season.
Shortly after that, OG Anunoby, right?
OG Anunoby with the elbow injury that required surgery. DiVincenzo's second free throw is good. The other one, Bojan Bogdanovic, chasing after a loose ball in Philadelphia, collides with Nico Batum, who rolls up on his foot, and Bogdanovic lost for the season at that point.
I mean, honestly, right? Like, even if you started this Pacers series with the guys that were available, that's basically OG Anunoby not getting hurt, right? And, of course, we love to play this little game as the Knicks are now pushing in transition.
Josh Hart lays it up. No good. Contested by Turner. Rebound pulled by Siakam. And he is tied up and fouled by Precious Achiuwa. 3:36 to go in the fourth. Knicks trail 120 to 105.
If OG Anunoby is available for Game 3 in Indianapolis, if OG Anunoby is able to stay on the floor for today's contest, there are tons of what-ifs. And that can be frustrating and fun to play in a fantasy world, but what you should appreciate that this team played with all season, clinching a number 2 seed, winning 50 games, getting here was a feat in and of itself.
Nesmith gets free and lays in a left-handed layup. Achiuwa dribbling inside the paint, kicks it up top for Burks, who drives towards the right baseline. 3:05 to go. Burks, baseline reverse layup is no good. Rebound tapped into the hands of Hart, finds Burks open. Left corner three-pointer off the front of the rim. Nesmith grabs the rebound. There's a foul on the play. It's against Josh Hart, and that will be number 6 for Josh Hart. And that will bring an end to Josh Hart's series. And the crowd recognizing that. And Josh Hart, the Knicks Iron Man, multiple 48-minute performances throughout this playoff run, receives a terrific ovation here as he walks off the court, likely for the final time this season.
He has left it all out there for this team without question. I'm sure that this is an emotional and disappointing ovation for him, as this team so badly wanted to advance and get this W tonight. But he's got to feel good in terms of this fan base understanding how truly valuable and impactful he is.
Nembhard's first free throw is good. You talk about what-ifs as this series had progressed. You go back to Game 3 a couple of Fridays ago as Nembhard hits both free throws, and the Knicks, shorthanded without Anunoby, were tied with 16 seconds to go, and Nembhard throws up a 30-foot three-pointer as the shot clock was expiring. It goes in, and the Pacers go on to win that game by 5 as DiVincenzo gets fouled on the perimeter.
I don't know. There feels like there should be a limit on crazy endings for one team through the postseason. Because you had 2 in the Philadelphia 76ers series.
Yes.
Really, you only have that. I mean, would you consider Game 1 here sort of? It's not the craziest we've seen.
It wasn't a crazy finish.
Yeah.
It was a close finish as DiVincenzo hits the first free throw, fouled by Nembhard. Knicks trail 124 to 106 with 2:48 to go. DiVincenzo hits them both. 2:45 left here in Game 7. So with Josh Hart having fouled out, Anunoby having not returned, and Brunson being ruled out for the remainder of the game, the Knicks at this moment are literally down to 5 rotation players as DiVincenzo fouls Andrew Nembhard.
I don't know what the protocol is here. Do you let your end-of-the-bench guys get some opportunity? It doesn't feel like this thing is going to turn around in the next 2:36. Do you allow your rotation guys to hear the applause from this appreciative Garden crowd? It seems unlikely that there will be any sort of address once this thing is called final.
Nembhard misses the first and makes the second free throw. 2:35 to go in the fourth. 125 to 107. Burks, flip pass, high post, Hartenstein into the left corner. Achiuwa's three-pointer is no good, too strong. Turner grabs the rebound, outlet pass to Halliburton. Knicks were down by 22 points in the second quarter. They got it to 15 at the half, and they got it down to 6 midway through the third. But the Pacers had a response. Nesmith here knocks down a 3 in front of the Knicks bench, and it's 128 to 107. And we have 2 minutes remaining here in Game 7. DiVincenzo pulls up for 3, spins out. Hartenstein taps the rebound. It's taken by Nesmith. And the crowd after this terrific 50-win season for the Knicks, is sensing that, unfortunately for this group in this season, this is going to be the end of the road. Nembhard drives to the basket and finishes. It's 130 to 107. And to answer your question, or one of them, Jericho Sims is standing at the scorer's table. Achua drives, knocked out of his hands by Turner, and taken back by the Pacers. Minute 20 left. Halliburton in the front court, looking to dribble out the clock. So the Knicks and the Pacers, this is the third time meeting here at the Garden in a Game 7. Halliburton misses a three. It'll be the second straight win in that scenario for the Pacers as DiVincenzo is fouled going to the basket. Let's pause 10 seconds to allow stations to identify themselves on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
This is your radio home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 98.7 ESPN, WEPN-FM, New York.
Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt from Madison Square Garden. DiVincenzo's first free throw is good. And for the Knicks, Monica with 59.6 seconds remaining. Jericho Sims, Shake Milton, and Daquan Jeffries replace Precious Achua, Alec Burks, and Isaiah Hartenstein.
I so appreciate this Knicks fan base. They're not going to give up the moment or miss the moment of acknowledging what this team has given them. It's been an incredible ride through the course of this regular season, and that applause is just a small symbol of how much they've enjoyed it and appreciate the way that these players have left it all out there.
DiVincenzo makes both free throws. Crowd chanting, "Let's go Knicks" here in the final minute of the fourth. 130 to 109. Dante DiVincenzo, those two free throws giving him 39 points this afternoon.
Really wish that one of his big games could have equaled a win. He had that great shooting night in Game 3, and of course here tonight.
TJ McConnell dribbling out the shot clock will take a 24-second violation. Mamadi Diakite heads to the scorer's table. We imagine this would be for DiVincenzo, and it is. And listen to the ovation for Dante DiVincenzo at the end of his first season in New York. Milton has it. There's a 12-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Milton content to dribble out the shot clock. And unfortunately, Monica, for the Knicks of 2023-2024, it comes to an end here this afternoon.
Yeah, but what a great ride it was. I don't think anybody would argue, perhaps Pacers faithful would, that if this team was healthy, this series outcome is going to be different. And I can appreciate that argument. You should support your team. But like I said, the biggest what if is probably what if this team had been healthy.
Final seconds tick off. Game 7 and the series go to the Pacers. Final score here, 130 to 109. Indiana advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals to take on the top-seeded Boston Celtics. The 50-win second-seeded Knicks season ends on the Garden floor this afternoon.
Like we said, we know that this team gives all that they got, but tonight, as it sort of unraveled by the time you got to the halfway point of the third quarter, you just realized that it was too many injuries to overcome against a team who was leading the postseason in bench productivity and probably had the deepest rotation of the teams remaining.
What a ride it's been.
Yeah.
We will talk and coming up with Dan Grassa on the post-game show. You will also have the opportunity to join the MSG crew to talk about that on the MSG Network's post-game show. But what a ride it's been with you, partner.
I've had a blast, Pat. Now, this is fun. I mean, of course, we want to be talking about more wins and losses, but in totality, we have the opportunity to do that. And I think what this Knicks organization has built here looks very attractive for any guy that thinks that they can lend their talents and their energy toward pulling this team over the hump, back to an Eastern Conference Finals, back to a Finals, and competing for NBA championships.
Once again, the final score in Game 7 at Madison Square Garden, the Pacers 130 and the Knicks 109. Post-game show and plenty of reaction coming up next with Dan Grassa. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event, so give your friends something to look at, like a B&B with an ocean view, an endless field of wildflowers, or a sunset that needs no filter. Make this a summer to share and save with a capable Kia SUV or powerful sedan. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Sale applies to purchase of specially tagged 2024 vehicles only. Quantities are limited. Must take delivery by 7/8/24.
The NBA playoffs are here, and the New York Knicks are in. It's time to hit the court with BetMGM, an authorized betting partner of the NBA. Download the BetMGM app and make every playoff game, every vital play mean more than ever. Find out why basketball fans love BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of Madison Square Garden and the New York Knicks. See BetMGM.com for terms. Must be 21 years or older to wager and physically present in New York or New Jersey only. Gambling problem in New York? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Want to stay cool for the next 2 summers without spending a penny? Slomin's has the AC offer of the century. Get 18 months with 0 payments and 0 interest. That's right, you don't need to make any payments for 18 months. Plus, Slomin's offers next-day installation. Get an AC system installed as early as tomorrow with no payments for 18 months interest-free. Call 516-932-7000 to get your free estimate. That's 516-932-7000.
18-month promo period. No payment, no interest, and no down payment offer. This offer is available through a third-party bank. On approved credit, interest is waived if loan is repaid in full during the same as cash period. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, I talk for a living, and whether I'm in the studio or at the ballpark, I'm sure to have a cup of Bigelow tea by my side. There's nothing like fueling my voice, body, and soul with only the finest tea. Bigelow Earl Grey. This delightful blend of black tea and real bergamot oil is not your ordinary tea. It's a broadcaster's dream come true. Keeps me energized and focused throughout the broadcast, ensuring I deliver nothing but the best for my loyal listeners. So join the millions of fans that make Bigelow tea #1 in New York. Bigelow tea, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees.
Welcome to the New York Knicks post-game show. Now here's Dan Grassa.
And we welcome into the New York Knicks post-game show. Dan Grassa with you. Well, a Game 7 with a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals on the line today for the Knicks and the Pacers. And before the game, Knicks got some good news. Josh Hart would give it a go. OG Anunoby would make his return to the lineup after missing the last 4 games. However, the Knicks would fall into a 22-point first-half deficit. They came out of the locker room in the second half and actually got this one down to 6. But an impressive counterpunch by the Indiana Pacers. And to add injury to insult, they lose Jalen Brunson in the second half to a fractured hand as the Pacers win this one 130-109. They take the best of 7 4 games to 3, and they will be the ones traveling to Boston for the Eastern Conference Finals starting on Tuesday night. Lots to break down here, and let's do it with the dynamic duo that were on the call for this entire postseason run. It's Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNaughton. Monica, before we get into a reflective state on this entire season, and there was way, way, way more good than bad, we analyzed these 48 minutes in particular, and, you know, this was a shorthanded team, a depleted team even coming into this game tonight, but like I said, the basketball gods, I guess they have a wicked sense of humor, even having Jalen Brunson being unable to finish this one today.
Gosh, I hope that's not humorous. Goodness gracious. Listen, when it rains, it pours, it feels like. And you heard Pat and I discussing it, just feeling like it was starting to unravel after the Pacers responded to the Knicks cutting the deficit to 6 in the third quarter. That's when we first started to notice Jalen Brunson was less than 100% just by him talking with the bench a little bit more than he usually does. But all things considered, Dan, and it's hard. It's hard not to be disappointed about this one. But to me, this Knicks squad gave you everything they had. Head coach Tom Thibodeau did a tremendous job this year coaching this squad. He got every ounce that he could out of the players that were available. And I know that it can be frustrating, but it's also kind of fun to think about the what if this team had been healthy. Because I am fairly confident that if this team had been healthy, the outcome of this series is different. And frankly, they might have, well, they finished second in the East anyway, but it might have looked like a different second if they had been able to maintain health.
You think about the 5 players that will technically have ended the season on the injured list, right? Jalen Brunson, Bojan Bogdanovic, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. It's a pretty good starting 5, and I think that anybody would take their chances with that team over the course of a long season, much less a playoff series, right?
Absolutely, and that's just it. That's the point of it all, right? And I think again, I try to do things glass half full, find silver linings, and some of those injuries that you sustained earlier in the season allowed for the emergence of a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein, who I think is going to be terrific, and the Knicks should do whatever they got to do to hold on to him. He understands the system. I think there's more to unlock there in terms of his passing ability and his scoring ability, but if not for the Mitchell Robinson, do we get this version of Isaiah Hartenstein? We already knew that Josh Hart was a glue guy, but if not to the injuries to Julius Randle and OG Anunoby, do we get to see him sort of put up a career high year in terms of the triple-double scored and showing off his versatility? And so I think there's a lot to look at from this season to be proud of and to build upon.
And Pat, when you look at this game in particular here today and how things maybe got away from the Knicks, it only took the single greatest shooting performance by an NBA team in a playoff game. That's what Indiana showed you for 48 minutes. 67.1% from the field tonight. Even when the Knicks were up in their faces, this team just could not miss all afternoon.
It was unbelievable, and it started with Pascal Siakam continuing to wreak havoc inside, as he really did the latter half of this series, really once OG Anunoby went down with the injury, and Tyrese Halliburton was hot from downtown, but they got an 8-for-8 performance from Aaron Nesmith, 8 for 10 from Andrew Nembhard. Now, Miles Turner's been good all series long. He was 7 for 11. TJ McConnell has been good pretty much all series long. He was 6 for 8. Up and down the lineup, up and down the box score for this Pacers team. And midway through the second quarter, they were still shooting 80%. And, Monica and I are looking at each other as if to say they can't possibly continue shooting at this pace. They almost did, as you said, Dan. 67.1% from the field, 54% from downtown. A lot of them were open looks, but, a lot of those open looks are a result of who the Knicks had, or more specifically, didn't have available to play on the courts this afternoon.
And, I should also mention, for those just joining us, I mentioned OG Anunoby. Yes, he did start today. He played the first 5 minutes, made the 2 shots that he took, including a 3, but then we never saw him the rest of the game as that hamstring was just unwilling to allow him to continue on this afternoon. Unfortunately, Monica, when this is the finality and the end of the season, at least the Knicks that took the court today, whether it be Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart in particular, guys like that, Tibbs made sure that they would get one final standing ovation, a show of appreciation from this crowd. And maybe that's the unfortunate part with Jalen Brunson, right? He went to the locker room to treat that injury. Nobody knew what it was at the time, but he never got that one last round of applause just because of the way it all unfolded.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a soft spot in my heart that was unable to happen, because we know this place probably would have rocked in appreciation for what he's been able to do this year and how he led this squad. Now, the one thing, though, and I kind of said it jokingly to Pat while we were in a break, you hate to lose this one, but if Jalen Brunson now has a fracture, and we can rattle off the rest of the injuries, at least you don't have to watch this squad sort of limp through an Eastern Conference battle with the Boston Celtics, which, you're already kind of hampered by injury and could potentially set you up for more. So, let's choose glass half full, and I think when we take a step back, Dan, like we are starting to do today, it is a season that you should be very, very proud of.
Absolutely. And Pat, I think just to piggyback off of what Monica said there as we bring this conversation to a close, it's unfortunate that the team was only able to take it to the second round once again, but it's almost like 2 different stories. Last season unfolded a certain way before the run came to an end. This one did as well. But I think if you're a Knicks fan, you probably go into October next year probably as optimistic as you've been in quite some time.
Yeah, because if you look at it, Dan, technically in the playoffs, they made it one game further than they did last year, where they lost in 6 in the second round to the Miami Heat. But as you said, this feels so much different. You looked at the Eastern Conference standings at the beginning of this season. Obviously, you looked at the Celtics as being the favorites, and that has played out that way. But you looked at teams like the 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks as being among the favorites in the Eastern Conference. The Miami Heat as a team that went to the NBA Finals last year. The Knicks surpassed all of those teams throughout the course of the season to get to this point. And as they look to this offseason, obviously rest, recovery, the health of the players are of the utmost importance. There are some important decisions to be made in terms of contracts and free agents and players that are eligible for extensions, and that will all play out as well. But as you look towards next year, the Knicks being in control of all of their first-round draft picks and then some, and a host of second-round picks on top of that, and the situation that they are from top to bottom as a franchise, and the fact that they have on their roster How many seasons have ended, Dan, over the last 10, 15 years by people saying that the Knicks don't have a superstar? They don't have an all-NBA player. They do. Unfortunately, right now, he has a fractured left hand, but by the start of next season, they will again. That is the level that Jalen Brunson has ascended to in this league. So when you size up the Eastern Conference next year, yeah, the Celtics will most likely be there and probably the first team mentioned. I'm not sure if you're going to mention another team as a favorite before you mention these New York Knickerbockers.
A lot of anticipation for sure, but Pat, just want to say, as always, a pleasure to work with you. Another season. Great job working with Monica as well. I don't know if she's still there, of course, because of the TV obligations, but tremendous job by you guys all season long. It was a lot of fun, and can't wait to do it all over again in the fall, my friend.
As always, Dan, it's been a pleasure. Terrific job by you in the studio throughout the broadcasts all season long, and can't wait till the fall, and we get to do it again.
Absolutely. Great job, my friend. That is Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt. They had the call of this one, a 130-109 Pacers victory over the New York Knicks. Indiana will be marching on to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. We are just getting started here on the New York Knicks post-game show. When we come back, we will take a listen to the highlights as this Game 7 unfolded. We'll get some locker room reaction. We'll hear from head coach Tom Thibodeau. We'll also check out the out-of-town scoreboard around the rest of the NBA. And New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network continues right after this timeout.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
NBA fans, looking for infusion care that puts you first? ThriveWell Infusion specializes in delivering cutting-edge therapies for rare diseases and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis and multiple sclerosis. Trusted by physicians across specialties, ThriveWell offers private, state-of-the-art infusion suites and slam-dunk treatment from their highly trained medical team. From New York to New Jersey and across Long Island, experience care, comfort, convenience, and compassion like never before at a ThriveWell location near you. Find out more at ThriveWellinfusion.com. ThriveWell, saving lives, drip by drip.
Have you overcome some challenges in your life? Use your life experience to supervise and support young people in detention. Become a youth development specialist. It's a union job with a $51,000 starting salary, and you'll be making a positive impact on the lives of young New Yorkers. NYC residency not required. Apply to become a youth development specialist today at nyc.gov/YDS. That's nyc.gov/YDS.
Well, I talk for a living, and whether I'm in the studio or at the ballpark, I'm sure to have a cup of Bigelow tea by my side. There's nothing like fueling my voice, body, and soul with only the tea. Bigelow Earl Grey. This delightful blend of black tea and real bergamot oil is not your ordinary tea. It's a broadcaster's dream come true. Keeps me energized and focused throughout the broadcast, ensuring I deliver nothing but the best for my loyal listeners. So join the millions of fans that make Bigelow tea #1 in New York. Bigelow tea, the official hot tea of the New York Yankees.
New York Knicks post-game show. It is the Pacers who defeat the Knicks today in game number 7, 130-109. Indiana earns a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. They will take on the Boston Celtics coming up on Tuesday. This is the Knicks' best parts of the game. It's brought to you by the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association as we dive into the highlights of this game number 7. First trip to the Eastern Conference was on the line today for the Knicks since the year 2000, and they got some good news before the tip-off. Josh Hart, who had the abdominal strain in Game 6, he was good to go today. And OG Anunoby, who we have not seen since game number 2 because of a hamstring strain, also worked out beforehand and gave it a shot this afternoon with a winner-take-all Game 7 on the line. And with OG back in the flow, well, they tried to get him involved offensively early in this one, and so far so good.
Hartenstein, top of the arc, hands to Brunson, center of the court. Brunson jab steps left, goes right, pulls up for 3, in and out. Offensive rebound, Hartenstein kicks it out to Anunoby, up top Hart. He's left wide open, back to Anunoby, who fires a 3 and knocks it down. Anunoby's first attempt since Game 2, a three-pointer from the left wing. 5-2 Knicks.
So Anunoby makes his first shot. He also had another field goal attempt in those first few minutes and made that as well. But if you were watching him on both ends of the floor, you could tell he was still hampered a bit by that hamstring. Maybe didn't want to try to push it, but you could tell that he was not fully 100% back. And his afternoon would only last 5 minutes, as a matter of fact. He made the two shots that he attempted, but we didn't see OG again after the first 5 minutes of this basketball game. You admire the fight, you admire the heart to try to get out there to help this team in a game number 7. But one thing that was apparent early on were the Pacers certainly were going to show up here this afternoon. They go on a 10-3 run to take a 16-10 lead, and they had made 7 of their first 8 field goals of this game. And unfortunately for the Knicks, it was a sign of things to come. However, Dante DiVincenzo also had his three-point shot stroking early in the first quarter.
McBride fires at the three off the front of the rim. Back tap by Hartenstein. Knocked around. Picked up by Hartenstein. Bounce pass inside for Hart. Dribbles out of trouble, and the Knicks have it with 10 seconds to shoot. DiVincenzo from up top. 3 3-pointers in a row for Dante DiVincenzo.
How about 9 early points for DiVincenzo? Knicks hanging around within a bucket there at 18-16. Teams would be trading baskets throughout much of that remainder of the first quarter, and even things got a little chippy there also with about 4 minutes to play, where Dante DiVincenzo and Isaiah Hartenstein started having words with Pascal Siakam. You play 7 games against the same opponent. Some of those frustrations are going to boil out as well. However, in the last few minutes of that first quarter, Indiana started to stretch their lead a little bit, and it was Tyrese Halliburton who was at the center of it all.
Here's Halliburton dribbling out of trouble, chased by McBride. Now DiVincenzo picks him up as the ball is sent to the left side of the court, and McConnell back to Halliburton. He's feeling it, fires another three, rattles it home. Knicks down by 12, 34-22.
Back-to-back threes for Halliburton. He has 11 points early on. Indy goes on an 11-2 run to take a 34-22 lead, and they would have a 12-point advantage at the end of the first quarter, 39-27. They actually rang up a biggest lead of 15 in the opening quarter, but the Knicks had it down to 12 at the end of 12 minutes. And Indiana's shooting 76% from the field in that opening quarter. So if the Knicks were going to eat into that deficit, they were going to have to start to get some stops down the other end of the floor. Now, unfortunately for them, Indiana just grew that lead early in the second.
Kicks it out on the wing to Jackson, back to McConnell, who tries to drive on Hartenstein. Reverse layup is up and good.
Indiana now with a biggest lead of 18 at that point, and they were shooting 80% from the field. This is an NBA playoff game, making 20 of their first 25. However, the Knicks, with a lot of fight, even though they found themselves down by as many as 22, began to chip away a little bit, and they started to force some turnovers on the defensive end, which fueled their fast break.
Hart driving, pass deflected by Hart, picked up by Brunson, outlet pass to Chewy. Here he comes, and a two-handed slam, and the Knicks are down by 14.
12-4 run for the Knickerbockers there, and they have it to within 14. Still a lot of ways to go, but at least showing some fight and hopefully trying to close that first half with a little bit of a spurt to make things more manageable heading into the second half. And once again, Alec Burks was relied on heavily this afternoon, given the shorthanded roster that Tom Thibodeau had to work with, and, well, Alec delivered.
Rebounded by Hart, who brings it up court himself, drives on 3 Pacers defenders, finds McBride, right wing pass Burks, down the lane, flips it up, it's good, and the foul.
Alec Burks with a 3-point play there, getting the Knicks to within 16. 14 points for Alec Burks in the first half, tied for the team lead after 2 quarters. But we would get to halftime, and the Knicks would find themselves down by 15, 70-55. As we said earlier, Indy's biggest lead in that first half was 22, but they just couldn't miss down the other end of the floor. Pacers shot 76% in the first half, and as a matter of fact, you think about milestones, Indiana's 76% shooting in the first half. That was the best performance by a team in an NBA playoff game in a single half in the last 25 years. So the Knicks had to make sure that they were going to get some stops in the second half if they were going to eat away at that deficit. And we found out early in that third quarter that OG Anunoby's afternoon was done as Miles McBride would start the second half for the injured Knick. And the Knicks actually came out of the locker room with a nice little spurt, and Miles McBride was at the center of it.
Long rebound, grabbed by McBride. Here come the Knicks. McBride with the dribble brings it to the left wing. Now baseline, scoops it up and in, and the Knicks are back within 11.
Still a lot of time left in this game, 10 minutes in the third quarter, but the Knicks were down 11. Garden crowd was starting to come to their feet. You could feel the energy starting to grow. Remember, last night you had a Thunder team that blew a 17-point lead in the third quarter in losing the game to the Dallas Mavericks. So a lot of real estate to work with for the New York Knickerbockers, and it would continue getting closer thanks to Dante DiVincenzo.
Brunson working from the right side. Right-handed dribble. Fakes the handoff to DiVincenzo. Now DiVincenzo fires a three. It's good. A step behind the three-point line. Knicks down by 7. Dante DiVincenzo heating up here in the third.
Fifth three-pointer for Devo, 77-70 Indiana. Knicks would actually get it to within 6 in that third quarter, and you could really start to feel the building ready to erupt, that they were trying to will this team to the finish line. But credit the Indiana Pacers. They would go on a 5-0 run themselves after the Knicks cut it to 7, and just some sloppy execution on consecutive possessions for the Knicks. 2 turnovers, throw in a 5-second inbound violation for the Knicks, too, after they had made it manageable, and the Pacers had got that one back up to a 12-point lead. And give credit, too, this afternoon to Aaron Nesmith. In this series, he was relied upon more than anything as a defensive stopper, trying to harass the likes of Jalen Brunson, but today made some big shots offensively.
And now a turnover inside. McConnell finds a cutting Nesmith, who is fouled, and the basket is good as TJ McConnell stole the inbound, and the Pacers are up by 14 with a chance at a 3-point play.
Yeah, 5 straight points for Aaron Nesmith there as he started to contribute on the other end of the floor as well. So some sloppy execution by the Knicks, and just like that, they're down by 14 again. Indiana would end the third quarter with a 17-point lead, 101-84. So the Knicks had this one within 6 at 73-67, but the Pacers would close out the third on a 28-17 run to go up by 17. Then as we began the fourth quarter, we got the word, unfortunately, that Jalen Brunson's afternoon and his season was done. Went back to the dressing room. His father, Rick, a Knicks assistant coach, followed him back to the dressing room, and we got word that Jalen had suffered a fractured left hand. So someone who has played with so much discomfort and pain along the way. We know about the foot issue earlier in this series, and now it's a fractured hand that finishes his season. Just one more Knick unable to finish the year because of how much effort and work they put into this entire season. We mentioned Alec Burks, though. His number was called a lot this afternoon, had to log some heavier minutes just because of the other absences the Knicks were dealing with, and more often than not, Alec Burks answered the call this afternoon and gave the Knicks a 7-0 spurt in the fourth quarter.
Connell gets to the left block, bottled up by McBride, turns against him a couple of times, blocked by McBride, and McBride takes it away from Shepard. 7:05 to go, Knicks down by 18. Here's Burks, pulls up for 3, right side, is good.
So Burks with a layup there, 24 points for Alec. He would finish with 26 on the afternoon, second on the team behind Dante DiVincenzo, a 7-0 run, Knicks down by 13. However, just when it looked like maybe this one was getting interesting, Tyrese Halliburton once again made sure that Indiana was in control of this one.
Halliburton gets all the way to the basket, lays it in, plus the foul on McBride.
118-102, Indiana. Halliburton with 26 points, including 6 3-pointers in this one to lead the charge for the Indiana Pacers, and that would be all she wrote. 130-109. The Pacers win this game and win the series to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. And that was the Knicks' best parts of the game, brought to you by the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association, painting and repairing bridges and steel structures around New York for over 50 years. It's time now for tonight's Thriving Player, brought to you by Thrivewell Infusion. And you just heard from Tyrese Halliburton. He was the guy that was in charge of this game. 26 points, 6 of 12 from 3, throw in 6 assists as well. Really feeling that Indiana offense today, which, as we told you, shoots 67.1% from the field, which is the best shooting performance by a team in NBA playoff history. That was tonight's Thriving Player, brought to you by Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip. Still more to do here on the New York Knicks post-game show. We come back. We'll hear from the head coach, Tom Thibodeau. We also await the remarks of Jalen Brunson and other players as well after the Knicks season comes to an end after a Game 7 loss to the Indiana Pacers. And you're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Grand
Grand Marnier is an award-winning blend of fine cognac and orange liqueur. It's made for those who live to step outside the box, who like to put a twist on the traditional and believe in a world that's not just good, but grand. Visit GrandMarnier.com to learn how to take cocktails from ordinary to extraordinary and live grand. Grand Marnier liqueur, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2022, Campari America, New York, New York. Drink with style. Always drink responsibly.
If you have experience working with young people, there are many who need your experience. Become a youth development specialist where you'll supervise and support young people in detention. It's challenging and rewarding. Union job with a $51,000 starting salary. It's using your life experience to make a positive impact on the lives of young New Yorkers. NYC residency not required. Apply to become a youth development specialist today at nyc.gov/YDS.
Have you ever driven across the Whitestone Bridge and wondered who could possibly paint this? The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association. That's who. With our local 806 partners, members of the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association work hard to ensure New York City's bridges, roads, and rails are safe, beautiful, and ready for the future. You've seen our work. The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association partnered with the New York Department of Transportation on the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, applying new coatings seen by thousands of people and captured in selfies every day. That's just one of the many pieces of iconic steel structures that the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association has helped revitalize. Every day you see subway stops, bridges, highway ramps, and steel structures restored and painted by us. We're the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association, adding a little color to the Big Apple. To learn more about our association and career opportunities, visit nySSPCA.net.
Dan Grosser back on the New York Knicks post-game show. The Pacers win Game 7, 130-109 over the Knicks. They are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's time to hear the thoughts of the head coach. Here is Tom Thibodeau moments ago with the media at MSG.
A battle all year, and there was nothing left to give at the end.
Do you know when Jalen broke his hand?
I don't know exactly.
How tough is it for his season to end like that?
Yeah, just, it's unfortunate. You hate to see all the injuries, and, Josh and OG just try to give us whatever they had. It says a lot about them. And then, it was hit after hit. That's part of it. And the guys responded all year long. So, I'm disappointed in the sense that we're not going to play anymore, but I thought they were a great group to be around, and they gave everything they had.
Obviously, when you look at the players that have been hurt, do you look at this as a success, even though you guys lost tonight, that you guys are able to fight to get this far?
Yeah, the thing that you, as a coach, you always measure, okay, what does the group have, and are we getting everything out of the group? And the only thing you could ask for is everyone puts forth their best effort. And we got that all year from these guys. So, and I think what goes along with that is peace of mind and knowing that you did your best. And so that's all you could ask for. And a lot of teams, I think, would have folded. They didn't. Like, we took the hit with Mitch, and then, then you add in Julius and OG, your starting front line, and then Bogey goes out. So and it was hit after hit, but these guys never folded. They kept fighting. And so that's all you could ask for.
What did you see with OG? He started the game, hit his first 2 threes, and never came back in.
Yeah, just the way he was moving. I didn't want to risk it. It's just, I thought, like he just the lift from him hitting the shots, and then I didn't feel like he was moving well, and didn't make sense.
John, what was
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was worth the risk. I don't want to take a chance. I love OG, so if it, I talked to medical, and we knew it was going to be. We didn't know what it was going to be until he got out there, and so he gave us everything he had, and that's all you can ask for. Yeah, they made shots that, they're a very good offensive team. You got to challenge their shots. and we probably didn't challenge them as well as we should have. So, but when you're shorthanded, like we know we have to play with great intensity all the time to give ourselves a chance to win. And so, I think if you fall short of that, and sometimes the ball goes in and yours doesn't. But I thought, for the most part, we fought all year, and then to come back in the third quarter and make a run again, and then we fell short, and that's when Jalen, I knew when he went out in the third, I knew something was awry.
Tom, what was the process in getting OG actually cleared? And
that's all medical, so that he's got to go through the protocol with them, and then if they clear him, and then he feels, like I talked to him at length yesterday, and he wanted to give it a shot, and so in medical thought he could, so we didn't know what it would look like until he got out there.
Coach, you've coached a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
Season, except for one team, always ends with a loss.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this year's team compared to all the other teams you have? What's going to stand out for you?
Yeah, just like I said, knowing that they gave best effort all year long, I could live with the result. It's disappointing. In the end, there's going to only be one happy team. Everyone falls short. 29 teams will fall short. So if you've given everything that you have, you could live with whatever the result is. There's no regret. And so this team fought like crazy. I think in many ways they exceeded everyone's expectations, except probably our own. We wanted to keep going. So we always had the belief that we had enough, whoever was in there. So.
Tom, I know it's hard when a season ends like this, but can you talk about just what Jalen did this year? I mean, he was the only starter left, but by the end of the year, from the beginning of the year, and what he went through.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to who he is too, because when you look at his season last year, it was remarkable, and then his playoff run last year was remarkable, and then to take the step this year that he's taken, it says a lot about who he is, and he's never satisfied. He always wants to do better. He always, and that's what I love about him. I love his mentality, and I think it permeates the team. It's like when you see someone with that approach, and the fact that he cares so much about his teammates. He's a great leader. What Josh gave us, and it's hard to measure Josh just because of all the intangibles. And I thought Dante had a terrific season. And then Deuce, the way he stepped up. And I think he's found his footing, and he had a terrific season as well. But we had a lot of guys step up. Isaiah really had a monster season for us as well. Jericho gave us really good minutes. Precious gave us good minutes. And so you don't want to see the injuries that we have, but that's part of it. But then oftentimes what comes from that is the opportunity for other guys to get in there and get something done. And that's what I was proud of is there was no excuse making. It was let's just find a way to win.
Coach, you talked about cutting the lead to 7 in the third quarter. Then you had 3 straight turnovers.
Yeah.
What did you see in that actually? You have ball pressure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's our margin of error is really tight. And so the defense, the rebounding, and the low turnovers, and obviously our defense wasn't there. The rebounding we fell short. The turnovers, were low, but we had the costly ones in the third quarter. We had a small window to maybe crawl back into a 7, and then you have 2 bad possessions, and that changes things. The same thing happened in Indiana, and it was 5 in the third quarter, and we had 2 loose balls that turned into 2 threes for them. So sometimes that's the way it goes.
Need to take the next step?
Yeah, it's hard to say like right now because it's raw and you haven't had a chance to dig into everything, and so we'll get a chance to do that, and then to sit down and we have draft picks, there's free agency, there's all that stuff, but also to dig into our team, lock into like how we can get better and make another step. And so there's the internal development, then there's the draft, which you always can add talent there, and then free agency and the trade. So we'll dig in deep, but usually what we try to do is take a couple of weeks just to recharge, and then do the deep dive, and then figure the plan out. Well, I love the group. You couldn't, as a coach, you couldn't ask for a better group. So, yeah.
You're entering the last year of your contract next year. You could be under conversations for an extension. Is that something?
That's something that my agent will take care of. The Knicks have been great to me, so this is where I want to be. Yeah.
So that is some good perspective there from the head coach of the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau. Still more for us to do here on the New York Knicks postgame show. We come back, we will get the thoughts of Jalen Brunson. Pacers win this one today, 130-109. The Knicks season has come to an end. You're listening to New York Knicks basketball on ESPN New York and the MSG Radio Network.
Sports fans, take your game day snack to a whole new level. Cibao Meat Products Jamoneta Campesino Salami, the MVP of flavor. Whether you're cheering for touchdowns or slam dunks, this Hispanic-style salami is a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Made with the finest ingredients and packed with zesty spices, Jamoneta Campesino Salami delivers a burst of savory goodness in every bite. Score big with Cibao Meat Jamoneta Campesino Salami. Available at your local supermarket. Remember, if you see our logo from the start, put it in your shopping cart. Cibao Meat Products, over half a century of tradition and quality.
Have you ever driven across the Whitestone Bridge and wondered who could possibly paint this? The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association. That's who. With our local 806 partners, members of the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association work hard to ensure New York City's bridges, roads, and rails are safe, beautiful, and ready for the future. You've seen our work. The New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association partnered with the New York Department of Transportation on the iconic Brooklyn Bridge, applying new coatings seen by thousands of people and captured in selfies every day. That's just one of the many pieces of iconic steel structures that the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association has helped revitalize. Every day you see subway stops, bridges, highway ramps, and steel structures restored and painted by us. We're the New York Structural Steel Painting Contractors Association, adding a little color to the Big Apple. To learn more about our association and career opportunities, visit nySSPCA.net.
Spectrum One is a big deal. You get Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds, free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security and privacy, and a free Spectrum Mobile Unlimited line with nationwide 5G included, all while saving big. For the big speed, big reliability, and big savings you want, get Spectrum One. Just $49.99 a month for 12 months. Visit spectrum.com/big deal for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Dan Graca back of the New York Knicks postgame show after the Pacers take Game 7 in Madison Square Garden, 130-109. It'll be Indiana taking on Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's time now for the Knicks out-of-town scoreboard, which is driven by Nissan. One last Game 7 to be decided. That comes up at 8 o'clock tonight in Denver as the Nuggets will host the Minnesota Timberwolves. T-Wolves had a 45-point victory in Game 6 to force the 7th and deciding game coming up tonight. That was the Knicks out-of-town scoreboard driven by Nissan. You deserve a car that thrills you, and Nissan's got an exciting full line that'll put goosebumps on your goosebumps. Experience the thrill for yourself. Shop your local Nissan store and NissanUSA.com today. Well, as you've been hearing, Jalen Brunson's season ended a bit prematurely today. He exited to the locker room at the end of that third quarter and was then diagnosed with a fractured left hand. He played 29 minutes today, scoring 17 points and dishing out 9 assists, but was just 6 of 17 from the floor. Here is the Knicks All-Star with the media moments ago at MSG.
Jalen, congratulations on the season. I know it's tough to end it this way. Could you share when you felt that the hand became injured?
In the third quarter, I went to swipe the ball on Tyrese, and I hit his leg, and yeah.
Jalen, you played great high school teams, USA Basketball, Villanova. Have you ever played with guys in a team that show so much resolve and resilience?
Throughout my years, yes. They've all been different, though. In high school, I think we were definitely resilient. In college, obviously, we were resilient in doing the things that we did. And this team is special in a way that I can't really explain. The way we just fought, the way we just didn't use excuses. We just kept finding ways and to the best of our abilities, and that was just our mindset. And I just love the fact that we have that mindset.
Jalen Thomas said that, the fact that everyone was able to give everything they had let him kind of feel at peace with the way the team ended. Do you kind of feel similar that you guys all fought the areas that you had, and you just kind of ran out of gas, but look out for you guys came here to do something special with you?
He said we're at peace?
He had peace of mind, too. Peace of mind knowing that everybody gave what they had and didn't leave anything in the tank. Do you kind of feel similar to it?
I would say that I love the fact of how we fought night in and night out, and I love this group of guys that we have, and just like I said before, our mindset as a group was strong, and some nights when we may have not had what people thought was a team capable of winning, our mindset pushes over that hump, and so definitely proud of what we were able to do this year, and proud of how we fought night in and night out. And obviously the outcome is not what we wanted, but the way we fought, it's awesome.
Jalen, is it frustrating that you didn't have all of your healthy parts to be able to battle to get to where you wanted to go?
It's part of the game, and like I said, there's this group. No, we didn't make excuses for anything, and so if things happen, we move forward with what we had, and obviously we want everyone healthy. I think that's the most important thing, but I think as a group, we had that mindset, that next man up, and we really took it to heart.
Would you look at this season as a success, given what you guys had to go through and where it ended up?
No.
Jalen, obviously you guys have been short-handed throughout a lot of this run. When you presumably have everybody back healthy next year, what do you think the ceiling for your group is?
We'll talk about it next year.
Jalen, can you take pride in what you accomplished as a ball player during these playoffs?
Do I take pride in what I have accomplished?
Yes.
I would say there's pros and cons to how I played. The pros is obviously I played well individually at some points in time during the playoffs, and the cons are that I didn't play well enough to help my team move forward. And so you can say I got hurt in Game 7. I wasn't playing well in Game 7. We had a 2-0 and a 3-2 lead, and so it's hard to look at things individually when you don't help your team.
Jalen, the Knicks fans, when you were already in the locker room, chanting your name at the end of the game, your connection with them, the relationship you have with the fan base seems very special. Can you get into what they have meant to you throughout the season?
They have been nothing but amazing to myself, to this team, to my family, and it's really cool. And so just so thankful for them and everything. And the nights that we needed energy, they provided for us. And the games on the road when we needed energy, they provided for us. And so they're amazing. And I can't really put into words of what they mean to me, but they deserve much more than what we were able to do this playoff run. They deserve much more than that.
Did you realize in the moment that it was broken?
No.
What was it like after, going to the back and getting evaluated, and I presume coming to watch it, knowing you're unable to help it?
It sucked. It sucked.
Jalen, we always talk about players and teams evolving, but how did Tibbs evolve this season?
How did Tibbs evolve?
Just as a coach, you've been through the second season. Many changes and, growth as a coach.
I think Tibbs has the same mindset we do as a team. Tibbs is the reason why we have that mindset. Tibbs is the reason why we, night in and night out, we fight to the best of our abilities. And even though things may not be in our favor result-wise, he makes sure that we have that mindset night in and night out. And so I think he's evolved by just not... he sees everything that everyone says. So, but I think when it comes to us, we don't really care what the people on the outside think of us. We don't care what people say, positive or negative. We go forward with what we believe is the best course of action inside this building, inside the organization. And so I think the way that he has evolved is that his players in that locker room have his back no matter what.
Jalen, you're eligible for an extension this summer. They can't offer you.
I'll talk about that another time.
What did you like the shots you were getting before you got hurt?
Yeah, a lot of the shots I make, a lot of shots went in and out. It's part of the game. It sucks that it was happening at the time, but I've had a lot of games where I've started the game terribly and finished the game pretty strong. And so, we can talk about what I was doing, what was happening, what was going right, going wrong, but just unfortunate.
Jalen, you came out in the third quarter going to the locker room, then you came back, then you went back to locker room. Were you trying to come back in the game, or are you still assessing what was wrong with your hand?
I thought I just jammed it, to be honest with you, and I looked down and knew something was wrong.
Jalen, you talked about all this year how you were kind of like motivated by your turnover in the Miami game, or how you played at the end of the Miami game. Is there something even though you guys had this incredible year with all these injuries, are you the type of guy that's going to pick up the one or two things you didn't do well and that's going to motivate you or not?
I go into the summer every year looking back on how I can be better as a player. To be the more complete player I can be. There's obviously going to be a lot of things, X's and O's, physically, and all that stuff I can do to be better. I think the most important thing that I need to do is to continue just to strive for perfection. And knowing that I'm never going to get there, it's just my mindset is that I just need to be better every single day. I don't care what I've done as a player. It means nothing. And I got to...
Not in the camera shot.
I lost my train of thought. I need to be better, and I'm going to go into the summer training to be better, and come back ready next year.
Jalen, last year you guys took fifth seed, second round appearance. This year, second seed, second round appearance. Are you happy with the trajectory of the team since you've gotten here?
I think we're making positive strides. We just need to make more.
Jalen, you didn't think this was a successful year.
Right.
Why do you feel that way, and how would you evaluate the year?
Did we win the championship? Did we get close? So, no. That's my mindset. That's just how it is.
So that is Jalen Brunson, and a tremendous season for the Knicks point guard. All-star, finished fifth in the MVP voting. Could find himself on the All-NBA first team when that is announced here in the coming days. But you heard him say there at the end, he doesn't consider this season a success because it did not result ultimately in a championship. And unfortunately, at the end of a season, the reality in pro sports is that the same group is never going to return intact again the same way when the next season starts. And if you look at this Knicks roster here, some of the free agents that are going to be possibly playing elsewhere next year: OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hartenstein, Alec Burks, Jericho Sims, Precious Achiuwa. Those are just some of the free agents the Knicks have on this roster that will have to be addressed coming up in the summer months. So that is going to wrap it up for us today and for this season here with New York Knicks basketball. Once again, the final score, the Knicks are losers today, 130-109 to the Indiana Pacers, as Indiana will be moving on to the conference finals to take on the Boston Celtics. Tonight's game was a production of the MSG Radio Network, and we have a lot of thank yous and acknowledgments that we want to hand out for a great job all season long. Of course, Our broadcast team with Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt, John Giannone, Wally Serbiak, Alan Hahn, Don LaGreca, Alex Faust, Harry Robinson, Tyler Freed, David Freed, and Doug Mittler. Thank you to our friends at MSG Networks, Kevin Meininger, Dan Schonenberg, Larry Torres, Skylar Darrell, and Dan Ween. At ESPN New York, John Winthrop, Mike Brownshire, Anthony Pusick, Rodney Belizaire, Jacob Perry, Tom Bauer, Harvey Cruz, Joe Leo, Julian Kushnick, Chantel Rankin, Pete Doherty, Vinny DeMarco, Holly Polsky, and Steve Hart. A thank you to New York Knicks PR, which have been very helpful all season long. Jeremy Watkins of MSG Sports, Derek Lipinski, Mallory Quitter, Brittany Stamalis, Joshua Delerme, Tim Guerrero, Technical Operations, Jeff Ostrom, George Milo, Brandon Trena, and Sean Ferguson. And as always, the broadcast facilities provided by Magic Radio Productions, led by Chris Majkowski, Gary Jeffries, Matt Shortis, Paul Schrager, Mike Crash Corigliano, and Ginsberg. The announcers heard on this broadcast are approved and are employees of the MSG Radio Network, which is solely responsible for the broadcast content. Once again, our final score, it was the Pacers defeating the Knicks 130-109. For Pat O'Keefe and Monica McNutt, my name is Dan Grassa. We thank you again for being with us all season long. It was certainly a fun year, but not the ending that we all wanted. We will talk to you again in the fall, everybody. Have yourselves a great summer.